are all the mods of 2024, and let me tell you, some of these are the wackiest, craziest things you could imagine. And today I'm featuring more than 300 of them, along with my partner Gerald. Have you ever wished that Minecraft had more realistic features such as transportation so that you can crash vehicles? Well, now you can with the MCHeli mod. This mod adds over hundreds of new items ranging from boats, to cars, to tanks, to planes, to helicopters, all of which can be controlled the same way by adding fuel and holding W. The strongest of these is definitely the tank for its almost invincible shell, ability to break objects like wooden leaves, and capability of killing entities by running over them. But best of all, you can fire large amounts of bullets. Moving elevators allow blocks to move back and forth by using controllers, but in order to use them you first place one on the ground, then another somewhere above your original block. Then to travel just click the arrow and you'll fly up to your destination. The elevator width and moving speed can be changed simply by right clicking and adjusting the levers. However, if you'd like to have multiple floors then you just add more controllers. Now if you choose to add the display block, it will tell you which floor you're at and clicking it will instantly take you there. HG's tree chop makes breaking trees a lot more annoying as it now takes 4 chops to break the wood. The amount of times does not change depending on your tool strength such as stone or netherite, it's just the usual log cutting speed. But the reason why this mod is good is because after you break one log, the whole tree up from that log breaks and you gain all the materials such as the wooden saplings, so it's best on large trees such as jungle and taiga. Teletubbies had several features from the show such as the main characters, food, and their accessories, with some items being found in the dome along with control panels and loot. Apart from the sun being changed, one of my favourite features is that there are now 20 new mobs, with the most common being the mini versions of these Teletubbies. Drink beer refill allows you to consume multiple types of alcohols, and in return you'll gain one of many potion effects. These include haste, fire resistance, frostwalker, and regeneration. One of the new effects is drunkenness, which can cause nausea and slowness. Now I don't know why you would use these, however there are certain foods which can make the duration longer and grant more hunger. Icarus had several unique colourful wings that allow you to fly, with the advantages being that unlike elytras you can fly in any direction with the help of fireworks, plus the wings don't lose durability, and when you fall you don't lose health. Unfortunately, there are a few negatives. For example, you must use hunger to fly, and if it drops to only 3 bars you will fall, and the second being that the more armour you wear the slower you will become. More slab stairs and walls includes a few more blocks which can make building a lot more convenient. For example, if you're building a floor and need a particular stair like grass, now you have it. These slabs can also be used to save materials as now you only need half the amount, but my favourite blocks are probably the walls as they look nice and you can use them to trap Gerald. Plants vs Zombies Reimagined uses several features from the original game, such as a variety of enemies as well as the defenders. However, the main difference is that only certain plants are able to be placed. Some of these include the iceberg lettuce, bonchoy, plantain, and the potato mine which activates when stepped on. The throwable plants such as pea shooters deal damage onto other entities and have their own unique powers, but my favourite is one called the cattail which shoots a kitten into the air. Full turtle armour adds exactly what the name suggests, a finished and completed set of turtle armour. And although you don't get any special effects when wearing the full set, each individual piece has the ability to give you water breathing. Just like the vanilla version, you can craft any of these by using scute from turtles, so it's a much better way to save resources and make boots instead of a helmet. Architecture Craft introduces several unique shaped items which can be crafted using the saw bench, simply by putting any desired block inside. However, the only downside is that you may lose a significant amount of the original block. These can be useful for building almost anything you can think of, including houses or a skate park. The Laser Blade adds a few new weapons with a glow-in-the-dark effect. You can get these by crafting the handle and then right-clicking for your brand new sword. The strongest of all of them is the heat-resistant beam, with it containing many different enchantments like Efficiency and Silk Touch. However, my favourite is Model Zero as it has the unique green colour and shines the brightest. Chunk by Chunk creates your world with only one fully loaded chunk, with the rest of the blocks either being bedrock or sky depending on your settings. And in order to get more chunks you must first find the hidden chest which will usually contain a world forge. With this item you are able to eventually obtain chunk spawners such as the planes and mushrooms which can be activated by right clicking. This means you can have a large variety of biomes within the same area but can make mining difficult as it will stop the caves and ores. Sophisticated storage includes different tiers which allow you to hold more items depending on what ore you merge it with. For example, Netherite holds 84 whilst copper only has 45. These amounts are also similar for shulkers and chests. My favourite part is that you are able to change the colours of each of these to all of the ones obtainable with dye like yellow, green or pink. Snowy Spirit is entirely Christmas themed with new blocks and items such as candy canes, gingerbread, gumdrops, and lights which can be used to make various buildings such as a house. But my favourite feature is now when you visit any village there is a chance for villagers to decorate their doors with wreaths. However, there will only be one per door. Bouncing balls adds a new method of transport which can be used by holding it in your offhand. These allow you to go across water faster and come in every colour. Some of these have special abilities such as the Netherite, which floats in lava, and the Prismarine, which can make you jump higher in water. Plus, most of these can prevent fall damage. Ceiling Torch slightly alters the game by allowing you to place any torch on the roof. These include the regular, soul, and redstone, which unfortunately still can't be stacked on top of each other. One of the cool features of the redstone torch is that it will still react to blocks as if they were connected on the ground. This means they're able to still be turned on and off with buttons and levers. Milk all the mobs allows you to take milk from even more entities by holding the bucket to them. These include sheep, llamas, horses, and pigs. But unfortunately, they don't have unique milk names. These are best used in farming or when you just can't find a cow but really want cake. Now you can basically use the closest animal to you. Extra armor allows you to turn several different blocks into sets of gear. These can range from obsidian, copper, and prismarine to honeycomb, wood, cactus, and ice. Although these aren't too strong, some particular items grant you special abilities if you wear the entire set. For example, speed 2 with ender, night vision with glowstone, and fire resistance with warped wood. Giacomo's fishing net adds an item which can be thrown by right-clicking and turns into a solid block with the intent to catch fish. These act just like cobwebs or for the water, as it will drastically slow your movement, so it can be quite easy to accidentally drown. The chances for entities to swim into the net increase by adding luck at the sea or fish meal, as it acts as a type of bait. However, if you were thinking you'd be able to use the captured fish as pets, you can't, as they die after entering. Coloured water adds many new buckets, with some having extremely long names, such as the luminous condensed orange water bucket. There are 3 versions which are all slightly different: the normal, condensed, and shiny. The sparkly buckets don't harm players but are strong enough to melt ice and override water, but apart from this they are mostly for decorative purposes and cauldrons. Bouncier Beds allows you to jump higher than you ever have before, as now when you press space on a bed you'll be flung into the air, and by holding space you're able to stay jumping at that height. The best part about this is that you are unable to take floor damage even if you hold shift, so now you can use it for comfy jumping castles as a better entrance to your home. Enderite is a next level ore from Netherite, which is located in the end dimension. With this you can craft more powerful armor and weapons, along with an elytra that can also be worn whilst wearing a chest plate. And now you can also upgrade the shulker to store more items. One of the cool features is that when you throw any of these items they will float off into the distance, even in the overworld. From the fog adds strange looking structures throughout your world, such as random torches and caves, missing logs from trees, lines of redstone torches, and small pyramids. The scariest part of this is that Herobrine could be watching you from anywhere within your game and you'll have no idea. Plus you can take form as different mobs like zombies, which can bring a lot of paranoia. Mob crossing allows any entity to be able to cross all types of railways. This means you can't stop enemies from entering your builds, and now rails won't protect you from creepers and mineshafts. This can still be beneficial, as now neutral mobs can walk past without being trapped and can enter your property freely. Valkyrien Skies is a mod which alters the physics in the game using these 3 wands. When the ship creator is used on a block, it allows it to fall and move around. However, the only disadvantage of this is that you can't move them yourself. You have to use the objects around you. However, the second one is very similar, but makes things twice or even 3 times as small as the original block. But one of the main purposes of this allows you to create floating boats in the water using a variety of blocks like water wool, or basically anything with buoyancy. It's important that when building a ship you attach it to a block that has already been affected by the wand, or else it simply won't work. Now if you're wondering about the third wand, it makes this extremely heavy orb that just rolls around when you place a block on it, and can sink massive ships if you place enough of them. However, they are heavier than diamonds and redstone, but aren't quite as heavy as netherite. Cloud boots are the singular item including many features, with the main one being permanent jump boost 5, along with slow falling so you'll never get hurt from being irresponsible. The best part about this is that it's really simple to craft, as you just need 2 golden feathers and 4 diamonds, and as a bonus, clouds of smoke will appear underneath you whenever you run or jump. The Legend of the Dudes adds anything you could almost think of, including structures, tools, weapons, ores, electronics, and magic. My favourite part of this entire mod are the dinosaurs, which have 3 colour variations and decorative heads, plus they're ginormous at about 9 blocks tall and will only attack you if provoked. Big beautiful buns allow you to turn almost every block into a ginormous bun. These cover most of the block and can be placed in every rotation, including the ceiling. Some of the objects not included are leaves, copper and water, but can be useful for making secret bases as they blend in very well. Eeab's mobs adds brand new structures with a ton of loot. There's also 9 more entities, with some of them remaining in the spot they spawned until approached. Plus you can craft armor and weapons to better combat these creatures. One of these structures is the ancient tomb, surrounded with traps and spawners, with a new boss called the Nameless Guardian, who will only activate once approached and has a variety of attacks, such as making you temporarily paralyzed, but if you die it will return back to its slumber. Redstone Pen includes 9 new items which make redstone inventories easier to build and create. One of these includes the pen, which can draw multiple shapes and can connect any way you want, including on the wall. The relay has a delay tick, which can be good for repeating circuits, and the bridging allows redstone to lead through it and connect multiple things together. The Midnight Lurker includes 3 new entities which almost all look identical. These mobs usually spawn near the player and have the ability to swim, with one of these being able to give you a jump scare effect called Insanity, which gradually gets worse if the enemy isn't killed. My favourite version is the Shapeshifter, which will disguise themselves as a villager. However, if you click to trade with them, they'll transform back into the Lurker and run away. Events Lootbags include 5 new sacks with several different rarities, with the most common being able to give you items which can be found in mineshafts, whilst the legendary gives you enchanted diamond armor or weapons similar to the end cities. Other assorted items you can collect range from food to ores, mob loot, enchanted books, saddles, and music discs. Randomium Ore can be broken with an iron pickaxe and spawns in the overworld in the end, and when destroyed you'll receive any random item or block possible to get in the game. Occasionally when you break this ore there's a small chance for you to see randomium, and when it's put into a crafting table you are able to get a duplicate of any item you already own. However, you can't replicate shulkers and try and get more randomium or OP items. Permanent Sponges adds 4 new items which completely stop the water from flowing. For example, the Aquatics creates a square prism that's 9 blocks wide, whilst the Magmatic is slightly larger as it's 11 blocks instead, so it can be quite helpful for your underwater ocean bases. Now the sponges on sticks aren't as effective as the water does come back, however they do create instant squares which are most effective for small spaces. More vanilla weapons includes a bunch of new items, with some being stronger than the regular sword, such as the Mason Lance. However, one of the most useful is a saver, as it takes 25% of the damage meant for a player. Unfortunately, there are a few downsides. Since some of these are double-handed, it means that if there's anything in your offhand, the weapon loses for attack damage, and the smaller ones such as the dagger loses range. Warden Horn adds an item which allows you to fire sonically charged freaks at your opponents. These can be quite useful in combat as it has a 40 block range with 10 attack damage, but unlike the actual Warden it can't fire through blocks. One of the downsides of this mod is that it has an 11-second recharge time, which means it gives your friends time to run away and potentially escape. Dice adds these 6-sided blocks in every colour, and once crafted, these can be infinitely thrown to give you a random number. For example, you could get a 5 or a 3, which can be quite useful for playing games. These have a very simple crafting recipe, but these spawn after about 12 seconds, so it doesn't make very good decoration. Lyvix's furniture has many new additions which can turn your house into a home, as it includes chairs, Bouncier Beds, ovens, sinks, cupboards, wardrobes, and mailboxes. These materials can also be useful for a variety of other buildings or structures, no matter what it is you decide to make. However, my favourite item is a tombstone, as now you have a way to honour your pets and friends when they die. Path Under Gates allows for any farmland or blocks where the grass has been altered to have a fence gate hover over the top of the ground without it being destroyed. This means now your builds won't have to become slightly uglier with paths. The only downside is that actual fences don't work for this, so you will always need to use the gates. Minecraft doesn't have an awful lot when it comes to animations of blocks and items. That's why this mod adds physics. A great example of this is when you throw objects away as they spin around before landing awkwardly on the ground. But not all of them are the same, as when you break doors they do a flip whilst paper glides like in real life. However, the most unfortunate part is the fact this mod doesn't apply to any living entity. Super fancy re-architecture clouds turns your regular boring clouds into these super high-tech realistic designs. These feature over thousands of different looks such as circular or hilly whilst remaining transparent. This is perfect for cloud sightseeing with your friends as they constantly change shapes every few seconds to different objects and animals. Lava Clear View allows you to see much better when you're in lava from any angle. However, it slightly varies depending on if you're in survival or creative. This is most useful for searching for diamonds at the bottom of caves and netherite hunting in lava lakes. And when you're looking out, your surroundings get a cool orange glow. The best part about this is that you don't even need potions to activate it, while assuming you already know how to survive lava. Armour Tools and Ores Plus includes a few more simple additions into the game, including the main rocks, topaz, ruby, and sapphire, which can be crafted into a variety of items. These include tools, weapons, armour, as well as colourful building blocks, with the strongest of these being both the sapphire and ruby. Bedtime makes it so that when you sleep, time travels with it. This means for every night you've slept, it'll be like a Minecraft day has gone by. For example, when you've got crops, the night will make these grow even more in your sleep, so it basically lets you skip part of the growing process. Apocalypse now simulates a zombie invasion in Minecraft. This means there's several new weapons to defend yourself, items to help you survive, abandoned buildings for you to loot and hide in, as well as zombies trying to eat you. Fortunately, zombies that aren't wearing helmets burn in daylight, making it okay for you to travel around without fear of death. However, some will disguise themselves as other people, so you still must be careful. Some of my favourite items include the dynamite roll, which can be thrown, the Easter egg, which launches zombies away, the road sign with 9 attack damage, and the climbing rope, which releases a line of climbable string. Torch Hit turns a regular torch into a weapon as soon as you craft one, because now it automatically comes with fire aspect, even though it doesn't say that in the item enchantments. This means now when you attack entities, they'll be lit on fire. This also works with the soul torch, but not the redstone, as it's too dim to create fire. Tectonic changes how certain biomes look and how the landscape is formed. For example, mountains can stretch up to 300 blocks tall with trails of blocks other than stone, and oceans can extend all the way into the deep slate layer. My favourite part about this is the underwater lakes that are often quite massive and can be travelled across by boat. Nifty Blocks adds hundreds of new items such as food, lights, fences, blocks, and flags, with my favourite being the traffic signs, as you can create your own accurate roads and legally steal them without going to jail. The letters are like vines in the sense that they can attach onto any surface including the ground and sky, while producing a small glowing effect, making it perfect for your home. There are also checkerboard tiles which can give your bathroom a new aesthetic look, along with lamps, coloured wood, and saplings which can help you create your own food like burgers. Villager Death Message allows you to see multiple things when a villager dies. These include the coordinates of its location and the cause of death. For example, if the villager walks into a puddle of lava, it will display that in chat. This can be most useful in servers with friends, for when your villagers mysteriously disappear, you'll know exactly how they died with evidence to prove your case. L2 weaponry includes more than 100 items which vary from shields to javelins, spears, hammers, daggers, and claws, which can be made from the usual ores as well as skulk and shulkers. Some of these are quite powerful and grant special abilities. For example, the Eternium Plate Shield can block attacks from axes and can sometimes reflect damage back onto the enemy, and the Vampire Desires restore health based on the amount of hits you have dealt your opponent. But my favourite is Poseidon's Madness, which summons lightning. Better Animals Plus includes brand new species that mostly spawn in the overworld. These vary from sea creatures to desert to forest and can be used for a variety of different items. Some of these include decorative heads, foods, and capes. However, the main purpose of this mod is solely for decoration and to add more wildlife into your world. More beautiful plates allow you to make almost every single obtainable block into a pressure plate. However, there are a few limitations to this. For example, leaves can't be used as well as copper and grass. Apart from the original 4 plate types, there is a new one called Illuminator which makes a ground glow around it. Farmer's Delight is food based and allows you to craft a larger variety of new items. These can be cooked with the help of a stove to make sushi, burgers, wraps, pies, and ice blocks. Certain foods grant certain effects, such as nourishment or absorption, with there also being new decorative blocks and storage available. Landmines includes 11 new items which give many different potion effects. For example, the launch throws a player into the air, the lightning summons lightning, and the teleport takes you to a random location. And the cool part is that most of these are reusable. In order to activate these, you must place your block, shift right click to make it hidden, and wait for a player. However, you must also be wary of the fake mine, which is just there to scare your opponent. Better Copper adds an actual use for the ore apart from building blocks, as now it includes armour, tools, and weapons, which are quite weak as the sword only deals 6 attack damage. One of the most powerful additions is a copper heart, which acts as a food as it instantly regenerates all of your hearts along with your hunger. However, it is extremely difficult to craft as it requires a nether star and 4 enchanted golden apples. Young's Better Dungeons upgrade these structures by adding more barrels with dirt, but vary depending on the room. But the best part is the main dungeons, which include the Spider Caves and the Fortress of the Dead. The Spider Caves don't have any loot and are quite dangerous. However, the Fortress of the Dead contains several items such as golden apples and enchantments, but you must be careful because it is also filled to the brim with mobs. Dynamic Light slightly alters the way certain blocks and items appear, as now when you're holding something such as glowstone, light will appear on the ground around you. This can be most useful for mining, as when you hold your torch in your offhand, the glow allows you to see in dark caves without wasting your materials. However, anything with a fire element won't work underwater. Missing Texture Block includes 7 new items, with all of them being black and magenta. These have the same blast resistance to concrete and become as small as an 8x8 grid. These can be placed by using the Missing Texture one, which allows for 99 blocks and can occasionally be found in the end cities. However, the only catch is that you can't pick these up in survival, and they will only be summoned by using another block. Better Safe Beds allows the person to sleep anywhere in a safe spot, but the reason this is different to regular Minecraft is because you won't receive a message when mobs are nearby when they're actually in a cave. Now don't go thinking that you'll be able to sleep right next to a creeper, you still must be safe. This means if you're in a house with no mobs, then you won't have to worry about the message and can sleep just fine. Erythium is a new mineral found in the overworld which can be found at several Y levels. The tile version of this can be found in small structures that can only be entered using a Tomothy crystal. These always hold chests in the center with various loot such as diamonds, Tomothy, a music disc, glitter meat, and golden apples. A dangerous mob called the Sterling roams around the caves at night, or drops stardust, which is useful in several magical crafting recipes, but is not as cute as a passive Tomothy. Dramatic Doors allows ordinary doors to stretch from 2 to 3 blocks tall in every wood possible, meaning there's 10 new doors. However, some can look rather weird expanded like the jungle or oak. These can be made simply by putting 3 normal togethers in a crafting table, so it can be quite helpful for times when 2 blocks just aren't enough, like when you're building a barn or iron golem enclosure, for example. Craftable enchanted golden apples brings back one of the old features of the game where you are able to make your own using an apple and 8 blocks of gold. Although a lot of people may think this is too OP, you're still required to get 72 gold ingots, which can take hours to find. Plus, gold is now slightly more useful. Easy NPC adds 8 new characters which can be helpful for many different aspects of a multiplayer world. For example, you can make it so that they can talk and ask questions, plus they glow, which is perfect for nighttime quests. There's also several different poses you can make your characters do, like swimming, crouching, attacking, along with your very own custom positions which are easy to make. And my favourite part is that you can change the skins to anyone with a simple link. Ham's Harvest Craft 2 contains new items which are more based towards fast food. These include burgers, fried chicken, ice cream, and hot chips, as well as more cooking utensils like saucepans. Although none of these grant special abilities, some are able to restore more than 5 hunger bars and overall look very cool. Advanced sticks allow you to pair up any tool or weapon heads with any ore base. For example, an rod and hoe or emerald and netherite pickaxe, with the rods of these being craftable through the same recipe as a regular stick. These can make your items much stronger, as now you are able to have the most powerful ore with the most powerful base. For example, the regular netherite axe deals 10 attack damage, whilst the netherite rod deals 13.67. Storage racks adds 3 items: corners, racks, and controllers. The racks come in many different colours and materials such as gold, acacia, and mangrove, which can be used to hold up to 36 stacks worth of items whilst gaining a cool new look. But in order to place down these racks, you must use a controller, and the better material you use to craft them, the more racks it can hold. For example, stone supports 20 and diamond holds 100. Now if you're wondering about the corners, they're basically useless. Epic Knights is a mod that adds medieval type weapons and armour. These include shields, swords, flails, and pants, all of which can be crafted using vanilla items like diamonds and wood. One of my favourite additions is a pitchfork, which can be used for riding and fighting. However, I also like the club as it looks like a giant stick. But if you're worried about your pets, don't be, because now there is horse chainmail armour. Now if you're wondering what the strongest weapon is, it's the netherite concave edge halberd that deals 18.85 attack damage. Glow sticks adds 1 item in 16 separate colours, which can be thrown to create a temporary bright light which disappears after a few minutes. This is most useful for mining in water spaces as it sinks to the bottom. Now just in case you're wondering, you can enchant it with loyalty, however it is kind of useless as it just breaks after being used once. Eternal Tears allow you to gain thousands of items ranging from weapons, to armour, to tools, and blocks, which can be acquired from the new biomes and structures scattered throughout the dimensions. Some of the favourite features of this mod is that you can interact with villagers and be given all kinds of different quests. There are now physical clouds and islands in the sky which are mostly filled with grass and flowers, with some of my favourites being the new mobs, which are both daily initial and drop many helpful items which can be used in crafting. Wilderness Odyssey includes 2 new structures located in the middle of nowhere which contain books and a small amount of loot. Jack's Death has a variety of ores on the outside such as coal or copper, but is mostly filled with stone. Owner's Home is just an ordinary house with flowers on the outside and a few candles, plus a pet dog named Blue. Phenomena adds 17 new structures which can be found both in the overworld and Nether, with most of them containing some type of loot. A few of my favourites include the Lost Trap, where if you approach it uncaringly then it will explode, and the Monster Room contains several blocks of gold but can be quite difficult to find as it's hidden under lava. Some of the lesser impressive builds are the Deep Slate Hill, Jungle Portal, Stone Hedge, Witch Hut, and Spooky Cottage, as they're a lot smaller and don't contain as much treasure, however they are still really exciting to find. Player Companions adds a whole bunch of new exotic pets which can be quite useful. For example, the Pink Raptor will protect you from attacking mobs and can be equipped with swords, armour, and will constantly follow you just like a regular animal after being tamed with the new foods. Unlike a vanilla pet, if they die they'll return into your inventory but can't be respawned for about 20 minutes. However, out of all of the companions, my favourites are the fairies, which can use different potions. When you look at tree leaves, they're practically perfect. They never wither and they never turn brown. But with the Falling Leaves mod, an animation is added which makes the leaves fall just like real life. This mod works on every tree no matter the size or biome, but the mod only activates once you have stood near a tree for a few seconds in order to create as least lag as possible. Torches can only do so much to stop mobs from spawning, as they only have a small light area. So if there's a space you want to protect, your base usually ends up looking like this. But now, this can be fixed with 3 simple torches. When placed, the light only appears to be the same as a regular torch. However, the protection ranges from 64 to 128 blocks wide, and best of all, they can be placed underwater. The Bumble Zone adds 1 new dimension which can be entered by throwing an ender pearl into a beehive, where you'll end up in a small cave or the open hundreds of blocks tall. Now this is where you can do all kinds of things, like swim in honey, climb the walls, discover the old hives, or even get new pets. This mod also adds new items which include armour, discs, weapons, and curtains, all of which can be found in cocoons or by completing the Queen Bee's request. However, if you're wondering what the strangest thing in this dimension is, then it's definitely the Endermen that occasionally spawn here. Have you ever wanted a mod that adds nothing new to the game? Well, the mining dimension doesn't include any new ores but can be accessed using this block made mainly from wood. This place can be particularly useful for collecting resources as an infinite number of caves are generated. However, if you go up too far, the only thing you'll find are lava pools until you reach the bedrock barrier. But don't worry about missing out on loot, as most structures are also generated, such as a dungeon and amethyst geode. Ad Astra adds the solar system into the game along with space outfits, mobs, globes, flags, and building materials. However, most of these items can only be collected from certain places such as Mercury or Mars, with the rocket being the only way to reach your destination. Once there, you can pick from multiple planets, with many having unique mobs and structures. A few of these include the Venus Tower, which contains Pygros and Treasure, the Temple, and Lunarian Village. However, my favourite feature is that some planets have zero gravity. Big swords allow you to increase the width of your weapons, as well as letting you craft new designs such as the Skull or Living Ender. You're also able to make scythes, glaives, and sticks, which are quite strong. There is a new ore called Living Metal, which allows you to make every tool, however it is slightly weaker than diamonds. Poker food includes over hundreds of types of different items which can come in multiple colours such as pink bread or green juice. However, my favourites are the 28 ice cream flavours which heal 2.5 hearts. One of the most common foods are the cookies, which come in many shapes like Charmander, Snorlax, or Bulbasaur. There's also a bunch of new placeable liquids which can be great for decorating your builds. Mosh's has over 1,000 new items, which basically covers everything, as it ranges from tools, weapons, armor, building blocks, food, entities, backpacks, and discs. There's also this really cool feature where you can see an entity's health by hovering over them. A few of my favourite items from each section include the top hat, opal block, diamond bread, pink glass door, demonite slab, trail shovel, butterflies, and spacesuit, mainly just because of how they look. Villagers wear armor allow any pillager variant to spawn in wearing armor during a raid. This is done for the purpose to make it slightly harder and more exciting. Because of their upgrade, you are now able to loot their clothing, which is quite useful as some spawn in wearing netherite, but the best feature is that witches are also able to wear armor. Young's Better Mine Shafts gives them an upgrade by including larger pathways along with 13 variations, including the mushroom fields. However, all the loot found in minecart chests are still the same, and most of these contain less ores. One of the rarest features is finding one with a surface opening, but it's worth it for the ladder down, and some tunnels will have ore deposits at the very end of them. Realistic Horse Genetics gives them an upgrade with several different colours and patterns, which actually makes sense with breeding. This changes it so that now you can get the fastest, highest jumper, or prettiest horse possible. These mob sizes can vary and are mostly based on their real life version, which can be seen in the horse menu, and as a horse ages its fur can get lighter, plus there's also netherite saddle armour. Immersive Engineering add a whole bunch of new complicated items which allow you to build functioning posts. These can be expanded out in many different ways, so you can make quite interesting structures with them. These can be made from new ores such as silver or uranium, and can be used for many useful items such as turrets, liquids, blocks, and machinery. Maiden's Merrymaking is a Christmas, Easter, and Halloween themed mod which add many new blocks and items, including snowy stairs, eggs, and costumes, along with a purple and yellow chicken. Fences on walls can now be decorated with various garlands and lights, same with wreaths for the door, but my favourite part about this is that certain entities can wear costumes. Piglet Structures adds over 100 of these with several new blocks and items, including giant trees, mansions, floating fairy isles, storerooms, and this random giant crafting table. One of my favourite items is a not mysterious package which can give you many things, including grass, weapons, and food like this bread, which can provide you with a variety of random positive potion effects. Banded torches add items which are able to gain a colourful new look by using dyes. The same also applies for soul torches, but not redstone. These can be made simply by applying the dye, however it does not make your torch brighter. If for some reason you want to remove the colouring, you can simply put it back in your crafting table, and if you want to transfer the colour without more dye, you can put a regular and banded torch together. More crafting tables adds a crafting table in every type of wood possible. This even includes the new ones like Cherry and Blossom, bringing it to a total of 20 new crafting tables, so it's a great excuse to use the netherwoods. The cool part about this mod is that it adds crafting tables from woods that aren't even the game, like Willow, Dead, and Magic, so if you're in survival you can't obtain them. This also applies for if you're using an older version of Minecraft like 1.12. Have you ever wanted to break a block 1 pixel at a time just because it would be fun? Well, now you can thanks to the Chisel and Bits mod. The real purpose of this mod is for building, as you can get many variations of every block. However, on their own they can look rather strange, as they only mimic the pixel from which the block is placed. But the cool part about this mod is that you can create things such as chairs, lamps, keyboards, and even a mini Gerald statue. Melon Golem adds 2 new entities which can be summoned by stacking 3 melons, holding a stick in both hands and right-clicking the center block. This also applies for the glistening melon by using the new item, which can be made simply by putting 9 melons together in a crafting table. One of the cool parts is that by right-clicking on it you can place almost any block on its head, and by using a melon on a stick you can tame one to become your new best friend. Sky villages add towns throughout the world which can often be hard to see from the ground as they're quite high up. However, each house connects to each other through several different paths and bridges and are much larger than regular vanilla villages. After the inconvenience of making it onto the island, you are able to get quite a significant amount of loot as most houses contain chests along with a few ores, crops, flowers, and wood. Scarecrow's territory adds one item in 16 colours. The Scarecrow. This has the ability to allow any mob from spawners to keep on spawning even when you're not there. These can be made with 3 sticks, a hay bale, and carved pumpkin, with the only downside being that it only has an 8-block radius. Spawning Chaos makes your nighttime experience significantly harder, as dozens of hostile mobs spawn and it can be difficult to defeat even using a Netherite sword. That's why you can use the new Armour weapons which are specifically made to suit certain entities. Best part of this mod is that you're able to summon 6 different structures all containing unique mobs and items. One of these is a dark tower with a variety of spawners, with loot getting better the higher up you go. Young's Better Witch Huts adds 2 new structure variants which can be found in the swamp biome. Both still contain a witch and cauldron, along with some other nicer features, such as loot like potions, slime balls, among a few other things. However, the funniest feature of this mod is when using cheats to locate an ordinary hut, it tells you to use the real mod command, which Gerald finds very hilarious. Cyclic adds a whole bunch of random magical materials which can be used for everyday creations, with some of the coolest including the conveyor belt, bounce plate, dice, spikes, and text projector, as they all have some sort of useful function. There's also a whole bunch of different apples which mostly have good side effects. For example, the bone gives you jump boost, the emerald gives you levitation and slow falling, and the ender allows you to find ancient structures. But if I had to choose a favourite item from the whole mod, then it would most definitely be the fan. Master Weapons adds 17 new items which all have to do with a new ore, Ultron, which is super rare. When you use this to create armor, you basically become invincible with the ability to fly, and if wearing the full set you gain an extra 40 hearts and speed. There are also 5 new tools and weapons which allow you to instantly do anything. For example, the sword allows you to defeat the Ender Dragon with just 1 hit, and the pickaxe allows you to quickly mine, so this mod is basically a high-tech creative mode. Roundabout the JoJo mod makes stands appear in the game using these special arrows. When a mob is compatible with you, the arrow will start to vibrate and you'll acquire a new stand. However, if you shoot passive mobs with an arrow, they have a 1 in 20 chance of acquiring a stand. But if they aren't compatible, they will either die or be injured. But the cool part is that some mobs have a 0.5% chance of naturally spawning in with a stand. There are 3 different stands you are able to obtain. These include Star Platinum, Justice, and the World. Each of these have slightly different abilities which make them powerful. The World is able to freeze time for up to 9 seconds, pick up blocks and replace them somewhere, and attack mobs within a close range. Star Platinum is similar but a lot more powerful. For example, it has longer range, more attacks, and can see insanely far away. Justice is based around illusions and can summon buildings out of nothings or whatever you choose to create. Infinity Buns includes a whole bunch of new items which are mostly for decorative purposes. These include buns in several ores, bigger buns, emergency buns, and hidden buns which look just like regular blocks, so it can be perfect for making secret rooms without much redstone. One of my favourites is a torch which comes as a lever or button, which creates a new look to your home by having them permanently bent. Move minecarts allows you to pick up any car with your bare hands and will float 2 blocks above the ground except for when it's hovering over tracks. These can be placed by shifting and are able to travel underwater. The coolest part about this is that you can carry mobs which can make transportation quite simple, however it's easy for them to get hurt if they touch any other block. Haunted Harvest adds an abandoned farm where you can find a whole bunch of corn and a variety of loot. Plus you are able to carve the pumpkin outside into anything you like. You can now wear a paper bag on your head and eat the grim apple for terrible side effects, but my favourite feature is when you throw eggs it will leave a mark so it can be perfect to use on your friends' builds. Physics makes the game extremely more difficult as every time you destroy a block, every single one above it will break into many little pieces. However, the closer the block is to bedrock, the longer it takes for the effects to reach the surface, and if somehow any block manages to hit the water, it will make a ginormous splash, so watching trees crumble down mountains can be quite satisfying. There are also a few items which have a different destruction look, such as dead bushes and flowers which kind of just fall on the ground. One of the strangest things to watch is when entities die, they just flop onto the floor in odd poses. Modrez's accessories include 9 new items which each have 9 different versions. All of these change a percentage of something, such as the Lucky Rock which optimizes mining efficiency by up to 60%, and the Adventurer's Guide that changes how much loot you get from chests. One of my favourites is the Overworld Room, which contains multiple abilities, such as increased horse speed, chance to get twins from animals, extra ores, higher horse jumping, and increased animal health. The Veggie Way includes a few more plant-based items into the game, with some of the seeds for these being harvested using the hand rake mining dirt. And when this happens, you'll have a 10% chance of gaining a new item. None of these grant special abilities or potion effects, however the super food bar restores 8 hunger points, and as an extra bonus you can create torches by putting sticks on a campfire. Additional lights include many new variants of our torch, stands, and fire pits, which all have a similar light radius. However, my favourites are the lamps which are quite flat and can be walked on. You are able to place flames which don't burn blocks but will still be put out with water, so this makes it perfect for all your builds without having to worry about it being destroyed. A lot of players absolutely hate mining for the reason that it usually takes hours gathering resources just to survive the nether or make decent building blocks. That's why this mod adds large ore deposits around your world. But don't get your hopes too high, because not every ore vein contains massive amounts. It's a very rare find. But once you do, you'll have enough ores to last a lifetime, or at least a few days. Lightning Wand adds one item which can create light blocks out of thin air, and when fired, a yellow beam will appear until it lands on the ground where a transparent block will be placed. The outline, however, can only be seen whilst holding the wand. And much like an arrow, when shot into the air, it will eventually fall about 100 blocks away. The main reason this mod is effective is because you won't need to clutter your house with torches to keep the mobs out. However, some might argue that you can just use the light block command, but let's be honest, it's so long that nobody remembers how to do it, not even Gerald. Young's Better Ocean Monuments completely upgrades the structure by making it large when using many other blocks like copper, and because of this there are many different connecting areas which are similar to a maze, making it very easy to get lost. The cool part about this is that now there's loot such as tridents and even more sponge blocks instead of only one. However, this also means there are more mobs and more Elder Guardians hidden in multiple spots around the monument. Goatee the Dark Art is entirely magic based with new items, paintings, weapons, and orbs, which can sometimes be found in the 7 overworld structures. However, they can often be dangerous as they contain much stronger mobs with strange powers. The largest of these is a crypt with several pathways and loot surrounded with spawners and ores which can take ages to explore. Bovines and Buttercups had some moobling which contain a few cool features. 1. They can lay on the ground. 2. When they walk there's a chance that Buttercups will spawn in. And 3. They can interact with bees. There are also 9 new flowers which can be made into bowls of nectar which give you different potion effects. For example, the freezer allows water breathing, the hyacinth grants withering, and the pink daisies give strength. And although the symbol is displayed with a lock, they can still be removed with milk. Modern Creator adds realistic furniture into the game which can be crafted by using the box, which is a 6x6 grid. With these you are able to get items such as tables, chairs, showers, and lamps which have functional uses like lighting or sitting. Some of my favourites include the realistic toilet which looks so tiny when sat on, or the trash can where you can put your unwanted junk. Plushie Plus includes a few little dolls into the game that can be crafted through fabric obtained by wool. These mostly look like animals already in the game, such as cats, foxes, and sheep. These can be perfect for decorating your home, giving them to your friends, or trying to collect all of them. Relics includes items mostly from Terraria which grant the user special abilities. For example, the lava walkers allow you to cross it without falling in, and the magic mirror teleports you back to the last location you slept. You can learn more about these items using the research table as it tells you exactly what each object does. But the most useful item is the Infinity Ham, as it infinitely regenerates itself every time it's eaten. Treasure 2 allows you to find random chests with tons of different loot and ores all around the world. However, these chests can only be opened by using certain keys. For example, the Wither chest requires a Wither key, and the Leaf lock requires a Leaf key. But be careful not to get fooled by the mimics, as they look just like real chests. The items that can be found are incredible, as it contains many different types of weapons, with some having abilities such as an increased attack chance and plus 7 attack damage. However, my favourite item from this mod is a skeleton, simply just because it looks silly. Nether Skeletons includes 9 new variants which can be found in almost every biome, with the biggest change being that none of them carry bows and arrows. There's also a skeleton similar to the gas, which is mostly just a head. These have multiple drops such as crying obsidian or gold, with my favourite feature being warp skeletons and crimson skeletons will fight if they see each other. Let Sleeping Dogs Lie allows your pet wolves to be able to sleep on the ground. However, this mod won't activate unless your pet has been sitting for an excessive amount of time, with the only condition being that as soon as you get close to them they return to a regular sitting position. There are over 50 different ways which the dogs can sleep, with some looking quite silly, making this the perfect mod for AFKing or servers. Earth Mobs adds a whole bunch of new items from different Minecraft games. A few examples of these are the Baby Gas, which can shoot fireballs, the Tropical Slime, which can store fish, the Jumbo Rabbit, which is just huge, and of course the Skeleton Wolf, which can become your pet. Apart from those, there are also many jobs, with my favourite being the 3 chicken eggs that spawn duck variations, the Mud Bucket which can transform pigs to wear flowers, and Gerald getting an upgrade. Gardens of the Dead add 2 new nether-based spines with a whole bunch of new items. One of these is a soul blight forest with a lot of sand and mushroom type trees. There is also spores which grow very tall, however you cannot climb it. The other biome is the Whistling Wood, which is combined with the Crimson Forest, however it is full of plants and bamboo like wood. This is the mod that activates when a single log is mined, causing the tree to be completely destroyed in a matter of seconds. However, there are conditions that come with it. If the log is broken using anything other than an axe, it won't work. Same for if the axe is broken to a point where it wouldn't be able to mine the whole tree. So if you intend on destroying large quantities, be sure to bring along plenty of spare axes. Moors are 12 new ores which can be found across every dimension and can be used to create a large variety of items such as weapons, food, shields, and blocks, with the apples being able to give different potion effects just like regular golden apples. The strongest of these ores are the graphene with 10 attack damage and a durability of over 3,500, but my favourite ore is the tourmaline mainly for its colour. Our man with plushies include cute little figurines of several entities along with characters from various games and shows. Each item has a different rarity, with one of these being Freddy Fazbear along with the option to change the colour by right clicking it. These can be acquired either through creepers or through the 2 different plush boxes which are easy to make. However, if you use the wooden there is a chance that you may not get a plushie at all and just some string. Haven Pebbles allow you to take these mini rocks from certain blocks such as grass or netherrack by shift right clicking them, and with these you are able to craft them back into normal blocks using 4 items. Another more useless addition is that you can eat these pebbles, however you'll only get mining fatigue and slowness. Villagers Respawn allows the villager to come back to life after dying as long as they have slept in a bed. This can be really useful for a few reasons. One being that now you won't need to worry about zombies eating your villagers or friends killing them for fun, as they will just reappear. The cool part about this is when a villager dies, they respawn with the same products they had once before. However, parts of this mod change depending on what the game mode is on. For example, whilst in hard mode, when eaten by a zombie they will become one too, but in easy they will just respawn normally. Better Than Llamas turns your regular alpacas into distinguished gentlemen, as they now have mustaches, top hats, smoking pipes, bow ties, and a spectacle. These vary from llama to llama and make the original completely irrelevant as they become almost extinct. Now, as cool as it would be, they aren't found in any other biome except the original and don't gain any new powers as they just continue to spit at you. Disenchanting allows any item with some sort of enchantment on it like mending to be transferred back onto a book. The cool part about this is if an item has multiple enchantments, all of them don't get transferred back onto one book but back into individual parts, so you can still split the enchantments to something like a chest plate and a helmet. This block can be quite helpful for multiple reasons. One being if your sword, for example, is near breaking and you don't have a mending, you can transfer the enchantments onto another. There's also this kind of glitch which allows for infinite enchantments by constantly enchanting the same item and transferring it back onto books. Big Fish adds 8 new ocean creatures which can only be fished in certain biomes. For example, the dark crab can only be found in lush caves, whilst the manta rays warm oceans. And when cooked, you gain a much more significant amount of hunger points compared to regular food like bread, as it ranges from 7 to 10 points. These can also be traded with fishermen villages for a decent price. However, the only downside is that they don't have a physical form, so are similar to older versions of the game. Even More Instruments has a few usable musical items. These include the violin, keyboard, along with a stand and trombone. These can be played by right-clicking and hitting the buttons displayed on the screen. The pitch can also be altered by semitones to either be higher or lower, so it can be perfect for playing some of your favourite songs. Now, as cool as it would be, you can't play multiple instruments at once. However, you can play several notes by button mashing your keyboard. Exotic Birds adds 39 types of animals from all across the world, along with several accessories such as houses and cages. All of these birds can be tamed with regular seeds and can be found in almost every biome, including the Nether, in small baskets where you can steal their eggs. One of my favourites is the magpie because it doesn't have the ability to swoop you unlike real life, but based on looks alone, the best are the kiwi, crane, skeleton phoenix, and duck, which make great pets. More Discs adds over 100 new musical items which can be found in various chests throughout the world. The cool thing about this is that each disc has its own unique design, unlike vanilla where only the center changes. This means it's a lot easier to use discs to decorate your walls. All of these come from a few select creators, with most songs being instrumental. My favourite of these include the Mangrove Swamp, Warden's Prize, and Flying Ships, mainly just because they sound cool. Dungeons and Taverns include 32 new structures which all have a vanilla style. This means that there are no new blocks, but there are various amounts of loot. However, some are rather small, such as the well, and don't really do much. Some of my favourites include the Stronghold, Undead Crypt, Netherkeep, Stray Fort, Jungle Ruins, and Illager Manor, mainly for the looks. If you've ever wanted a unique way to climb down a mountain without taking damage, then I've got the perfect solution: to the bat poles. Now you're probably wondering what this mod actually adds, and that's poles made from many different materials. However, the rarer it is to obtain an item, the faster you will travel down it. For example, diamond is the fastest whilst wood is the slowest. What I really like about this mod though is that you can spin around by moving your mouse, but it will automatically put you in third person view. More Beautiful Walls adds over hundreds of new walls that come in almost every block possible from every dimension, with my favourite feature being the fact that all blocks connect even if they're complete opposites. For example, cactus and coral, honey and netherite, or even wool and cake. The coolest part about this mod is the fire and lava walls, which continue to flow even when placed, but I do admit they look much better in the inventory than on the ground. Now if you're wondering if you can get injuries from these walls, they are completely safe and can't hurt you. Regions Unexplored includes 70 new biomes which all have different looks and new items. Some of these include the Alpha with the original Minecraft look, the grassy beach which is wider but still just as sandy, and the bioshroom that contains many coloured mushrooms with some that shine. My favourite is the Prismachasm, which has several rainbow blocks and glowing crystals which are so beautiful. When we mine trees, the inconvenience of waiting for the leaves to despawn is frustrating and wastes a lot of time. And although you can shear them or break them with your hand, it still isn't that efficient. That's why Fast Leaf Decay is the perfect mod to decrease the waiting time. This mod instantly activates as soon as the logs separate from the leaves, making them vanish within a matter of seconds. This always works no matter the size of your tree as long as it was naturally generated, so there's no need to worry about your nature builds disappearing. Energetic sheep adds blue animals with the same coloured wools, however all contain a different electrical current. For example, the white rate's at 1062 whilst the red is 537, and the higher the number the more damage dealt to a player, so it can be perfect for pranking your friends. The wool can be collected regularly by killing sheep or using the original shears as the new blue ones only steal their energy. But my favourite part about this mod is that the sheep gain a new ability, Super Speed, which is just hilarious to watch. Diagonal fences allows you to place a fence across multiple blocks without turning into a square shape. For example, they usually look like this, however with this addition it gains a much nicer look, making it perfect for Gerald. These fences are still able to connect even when using different coloured woods like crimson and birch, making it perfect for creating fun-shaped multicoloured paddocks such as a circle, triangle, rhombus, or dodecahedron. Returning from the Zen Week includes 3 new biomes where you can find a large variety of new blocks and items, including food, plants, fossils, and weapons. The main feature of this are the animals added that are based on real-life creatures that have gone extinct, like the dodo or the woolly rhinoceros, which can be quite deadly towards you. Soul-like Armour reworked includes a large variety of items which can help you during combat. All this clothing completely covers your entire person, which can be great for disguises, with most of these having the same amount of armor points on each set. Each weapon has its own unique design, with many of these being humongous. 5 of these are the strongest with 16 attack damage, but my favourites are the Nightcrow Sword and the Dark Moon Greatsword for their extreme details. The Hordes has a virus caused by zombies which can cause players to become diseased and die within a matter of minutes. However, there is a singular cure for this, the Golden Apple. Now, if you thought animals were safe, then you're completely wrong, as when horses are hit, they have a chance to be infected and possibly die after about 5 minutes. John's trophies include statues of almost every mob, which can be adjusted to be ginormous or tiny with a few simple buttons. These can be expanded up to 20 times and can be shrunk so small that you can't even see it, making it perfect for different builds like bedrooms. One of the cool features is that you can adjust how high or low the mob stands. This means it has the ability to float and is best suited for hiding a statue base while still presenting the whole creature. MCA Reborn adds a role-playing aspect to the game where you can completely customize your character and interact with villagers in several ways. One of the most notable aspects is that you can marry villagers by giving them a wedding ring, and in a similar way you can also divorce them with papers. There's also a bunch of other entertaining things you can do, like steal souls, bring villagers back to life, change your clothing and hair, summon the Grim Reaper, change villager attributes, get scolded for trying to drop babies, and create cemeteries. Zero's minimap has a small chart in the corner of your screen which can be entered by clicking V to see all of the world you've explored, along with a compass that rotates with you. This also allows you to see yourself in the surrounding area along with all mobs, including hostile and neutral. The advantage of this mod is that you can see specific coordinates just by hovering your mouse over a location on your map. This makes it very useful for finding your house or cave if you've forgotten to mark it down. The Undergarden adds a whole new dimension which can be entered through this portal. Here there are several new biomes which vary from underground to darkness to underwater and glowing. Using the materials found here, you're able to craft new decorative blocks as well as tools, armor and weapons. However, my favourite additions are the wildlife, which will probably try to hurt you. Additional lanterns adds over 700 items, which can be made from several different blocks from all dimensions, which include obsidian, granite, endstone, and warped hyphae. Each of these can be altered after construction by using different coloured dyes like green and pink. Along with this also comes matching chains. However, the only downside is that all lanterns have the exact same brightness of 26 blocks, so there's no point wasting your netherite unless you're really rich. Borealis adds a few more plants like cacti, which can be used to make dye of all colours. The seeds to these can be collected from farmer villagers at a reasonable price, along with flowers, petals, and blocks. Just like bone meal, fibres can be used to grow your cacti faster, but instead of just breaking the plant to collect the dye, it's much better to use shears or something enchanted with silk touch, as it gives you the whole plant rather than just petals and seeds. Simply Swords adds a whole bunch of fancy weapons, with some having special abilities. For example, the Shadow Sting allows you to teleport a few blocks away from an enemy, and the Molten Edge allows you to fire your opponents into the air with actual fire, whilst the Soul Pierre allows you to switch places when the timer runs out. There's also a bunch of weapons which can be made with regular ores like diamonds, such as the Scythe, Katana, Claymore, and Chakram, with the strongest of these being the Great Hammer. Portable crafting table allows someone to craft this little square grid that comes on a stick, and by right-clicking it, a full crafting table menu appears without any blocks needing to be placed. This makes it especially useful for mining trips and the Nether. This can be made with a crafting table and 2 sticks in a diagonal pattern, and if I'm being honest, it kinda looks like chocolate, so it's a perfect source of nutrition for Gerald. Royal crowns add 22 variations of the same item, which grants you a new royal look. Most of these contain the same purple gem but can be swapped out to a new colour like green or blue depending on what you prefer. These can be made with 5 new ores located underground, and just like diamonds, these can be difficult to find depending on the item. However, they unfortunately cannot be crafted into a block version, so you can't decorate your builds with them. X-Line's furniture adds a few more items which are best suited for households, as it adds chairs, curtains, tables, windows, and lamps, which come in every colour along with most woods. The coolest of these is definitely the frog chair, which can be sat on by right-clicking. There's also a few other items that only have a singular version, like the gravestone, fridge, and oven. However, my favourite feature is definitely the toilet, as you can now create a realistic bathroom along with some other decorative features like dolls. Echo Chest adds 1 new item which has the ability to absorb almost any item on the ground near it, but to be specific, 8 blocks each side, which means 64 blocks in total. The cool part about this is when you kill mobs in its radius, it'll take the XP. However, there are some limitations to this chest. For example, it cannot absorb XP from bottles or chanting, already place items, and any other type of mob. Skill quotes include many wearable items which give a player several different abilities. Some of my favourites include the agility with double jump, wood cutting which can destroy an entire tree, and the defense which stops you from dying once per day. These can be opened with the sacks and have several categories such as attack and construction, and with each bag you'll be given 1 cloak and 1 matching hood. When snow falls, it only goes one direction, unlike in real life where you have wind. This means you get those awkward gaps underneath trees where you can see the grass, but to help with that is the Snow Under Tree mod. And just as the name suggests, when snowing it'll actually be able to make it underneath trees, so no more weird terrains, just pure snow. Big Brain allows mobs to be slightly more intelligent with a few small changes. For example, when it's raining, most neutral mobs will try and find shelter, and a herd of animals will alert others when one is panicked. But my favourite feature is that sheep are able to run away from wolves. However, this also affects attacking mobs too, as all hostile mobs that are human-like such as zombies are able to jump over 1-block gaps. Husks are also able to grab and drag players into the ground, and pillagers will move closer to you if they have a multi-shot crossbow. Tabletop Craft allows you to play a game within a game, as you can now play tic-tac-toe and chess. The chessboard can be made using the 8 different woods with brown and white terracotta. In order to play this game, you must first acquire 6 different pieces by using the chess figure, as it determines which piece will be chosen. There are 3 different sets which include the classic, standard, and Pandora's creatures. Tic-tac-toe can be played by placing down the mat and clicking any of the squares. It'll then add either a circle or cross, and once there is 3 in a row, a line will be drawn, so it's perfect for an SMP unless you have no friends. Biome Backlog includes new items and features into the game which were previously rejected. These affect the desert, badlands, and savannah, with my favourite addition being the extra mobs, especially the vulture for its strange looking flying. There are tons of new blocks such as the pear cactus and palm tree which you can use for many different blocks like stairs and slabs. There's also foods such as coconut, dates, and cooked ostrich. Bedrock Plus adds a new ore which is powerful enough to rival Netherite, as when you wear the full set you gain resistance. This new variant is called the Impure Bedrock Ingot, which can be found between Y level -58 and -64. Along with this are also a few new tools and weapons, with the strongest being the axe which deals 15 attack damage but is slow with 1 attack speed. So the sword is much better as it's 0.6 times faster. Mystic Potions adds 9 new items which all contain special abilities. For example, the burning makes your friends catch fire, the darkness creates a shadow around you, and the explosive destroys your enemy but only when it touches an actual entity. Most of these have different time and strength variations like 45 seconds or a minute 30, with the coolest feature being when you throw the Thunderous Potion onto a villager, it'll transform into a witch every time. Growing crops can be quite irritating, especially when it's something like cacti which can't be sped up using bone meal. That's why this mod adds Snad, which looks like a copy of sand but actually makes your crops grow the slightest bit faster. Now I'm not exaggerating when I say a slight bit, as it only grows fast by 1.5 times. But this makes sense considering that in order to make Snad, you combine 2 whole blocks of sand. Now this mod isn't the most useful, but at least Snad also comes in its red variation. The coarse paths and pavements make it so that you can have all kinds of floor decorations instead of just carpet. There are many different patterns and colours such as diamond, basket weave, clover and square, my favourite of which being the dumble paving because of all the mini rectangles. There are also regular paths which can only be made from wood. However, every other pavement is made from mostly underground blocks such as andesite and granite, so these blocks can be perfect for something like a garden. Caged mobs allows you to put almost every single animal inside of a cage by getting a sample of their DNA and putting a block of the environment the animal needs inside. For example, Netherite cheese need magma and ocean needs sand. However, it can take a while for them to grow, but the process can be made quicker using upgrades. These can't be transported even with Silk Touch, and the coolest part is that you're able to collect the Ender Dragon and the Wither. Sometimes waiting for things to smelt takes far too long, and as a result you usually have to AFK and hope you don't die by a mob or another player. But what if there was a way that you could safely speed up this process with a simple mod, the Iron Furnaces? This mod is heavily inspired by the Iron Chest mod, but instead of more storage, it provides much faster cooking and more advanced upgrades. A unique thing about this mod is the Rainbow Furnace for its insane smelting speed and pretty colours. Not only that, but when items are added, the whole entire stack smelts within a matter of seconds. Hostile Mobs and Girls adds a variety of new blocks and entities which can be found primarily in the Nether. These allow you to craft several different types of foods, armour, and glowing items which grant special abilities such as the Bottle of Blasting, which is like a fiery TNT explosion. Some of my favourite mobs include Allrune, Nightwalker, Dysomnia, Kasha, and Crimson Slaughterer, which unfortunately are all hostile and are going to try and kill you. Amplified Nether changes the layout of that dimension, with the key feature being the expansion of the world block limit. Usually it's 128 blocks, but in this mod it becomes 256, which is almost double the size. Now, although there are no new added blocks, there are still significant changes such as more extreme cliffs, more lava pockets, extended caves, and clearer structures. Advanced Food adds 23 new items, all of which can't be eaten, as it includes a hammer, peanut block, and seeds, which can be used to grow new foods such as corn, lettuce, and tomatoes. These can be obtained the usual way by loot or certain mobs. One of the cool features include the popcorn, which if cooked for too long becomes burnt, and if you take the risk in eating it, you'll gain the poison effect for a few seconds. Included are also items which can't be grown such as cheese, which can be combined with other ingredients to create the ultimate food, pizza. Immersive Paintings add 4 new items which allow you to put many different images into the game using graffiti and glowing paintings. These images can be imported from your very own computer through in-game screenshots, files, and many URL image links, which can be really fun to decorate your home. When you go to open a bakery, there's only a few small treats that can be added, like cookies, cake, and bread. That's why just more cakes adds, well, you know, more cakes. These range from chocolate to lava to creeper to mushroom to an eyeball. The easiest way to make these is by using the cake oven. Simply add your ingredients and you have yourself a bakery. Ore growth allows you to gain extra items by using the cluster which grows on iron. These can be placed on any ore like diamonds, and after several minutes you can use any pickaxe to harvest it. There are 4 different stages of ore growth, and the closer it is to being completed, the higher the chance you'll have of receiving more items from it, so it's useful for AFKing. Alex's Caves adds 5 biomes which are quite difficult to find, however all contain new blocks and items. One of these is the Forlorn Hollows with many huts and trees which can craft a different type of boat, and another is the Primordial with bright light blocks and a bunch of interesting creatures such as the Tremosaurus, Relicharius, and the Trilocarus. My favourite of all of these is the Toxic Caves with strange animals and a green liquid which can be explored safely by using a hazmat suit. Mine Colonies makes items slightly fancier by giving them different woods and aesthetic for the sole purpose to build up your own town as the new president. And after declaring ownership of the land, many new people will arrive to work for you. However, you actually have to put an effort by building them places to live. Many of these people will need different items such as shovels to continue their jobs, but in the end it can be quite rewarding, as when they gain new materials you are able to steal their belongings. The Urgy has a few types of divination rods which allow you to find different ores more easily. However, the only catch is that you actually have to find that particular item first. For example, if you want to find diamonds, you cannot use the rod until you have shift right clicked onto it. In order to use this, you just hold the right button whilst it scans for a desired ore and shoots a small pink beam in its direction, so it's perfect for your lazy mining trips. Mutant Monsters add 7 new creatures which can be quite terrifying and hard to fight, as they now have new abilities. The best example of this is the Mutant Enderman, as it can create an army of strong purple silhouettes. And what's even worse is the fact it can survive for a few minutes in water without needing to teleport out. If you want to create your own mob, you can do so with a splash potion of chemical by putting it on a few select entities such as a zombie. The main reason for transforming them is to collect new items like the minion egg, which releases a small creeper which can be made your pet by using the tracker. Endermanic Legacy completely changes a few aspects of the game by adding many different kinds of charms and magic items. A few of my favourites include the extrapolated Mega Sponge, which instantly absorbs water around you every 2 seconds, the Majestic Elytra, which grants infinite flying, and the Eye of Nebula, which allows you to teleport to any entity you're looking at. There's also a bunch of potions which double the time of the vanilla version, such as Night Vision for 16 minutes or Instant Health 3. But the coolest addition is the Ethereal Armour set, which can't be seen when worn. And the bonus for when wearing the completed set is that when you get down to a certain health level, a shield forms around you which repel attacking mobs. Balloon Box takes inspiration from Animal Crossing, as now there's a chance for a balloon to float across the sky. The best way to collect these is by using a bow and arrow, as they spawn quite high, but alternatively if you're fast enough you can pop them with your hand. Each balloon is slightly different depending on the 6 colours, with the rarest being the white, which holds enchanted diamond tools and armour. Some also have items which can't be crafted, such as saddles, music discs, enchanted golden apples and name tags. Upgraded Netherite adds over 145 items which are all Netherite themed and grant extra protection. For example, the Enchanted Goldenite Apple gives you 6 potion effects which are best suited for nether climates. The Blazerite Pickaxe auto smelts ores after being mined, and the Witherite Crossbow gives your enemy withering. One of the cool features is that when you complete a full set of armor, you'll gain a few special abilities, with my favourite being the Featherite set, which stops the levitation from shulkers and allow you to walk across any lava and water blocks. Finding biomes in survival can be quite difficult, especially if you're searching for something rare such as the mushroom fields, but with Nature's Compass you can get there easily. The way this compass works is you right click and a menu pops up with every possible biome. You then scroll until you find the one you want, click search, and the compass will point in that direction. Now this doesn't just apply to above ground blocks, as you can find dripstone caves or even the deep dark. Universal Bone Meal allows you to use it on any plant such as vines that doesn't work in vanilla Minecraft. This includes every dimension such as the chorus fruit for the end or nether wart, so now you don't need to worry about the waiting time. This also applies to items such as lily pads, coral, sugarcane, podzol, and dead bushes, so it's a perfect way to get rid of all your excess bone meal from your skeleton spawners. Thingamajigs has a whole bunch of random decorative blocks and items which include bowling balls, arcade machines, electronics, road signs, and poop, which can be used for various creations like homes and malls. Some of my favourite items include the paintbrush that can colour blocks, the string lights for its pretty colours, the droopy flower which gives you nausea when broken, the fireworks display which releases different kinds of rockets, and the diving board. Have you ever wanted the ability to kill vampires with new weapons such as garlic? Well, thanks to vampirism you now have this opportunity. There's many new objects such as armour, cloaks, oils, blocks, not to mention coffins that come in every colour. But in order to locate these beasts, you must travel to the vampire forest, which allows them to walk around in broad daylight. So only come here if you have a death wish, because all the animals that spawn naturally are evil and will attack you. Number Settlement includes 10 new structures with a variety of different entities which can be destroyed to gain new loot and items. These include weapons, accessories, as well as food. However, it is important to keep in mind that these mobs will try to kill you as soon as you approach. One of my favourite items is the wrap goods, which can grant you several useful mystery items. Plus, one of the special creative features is that you are able to place all these structures without having to search for them. Vanilla Cookbook adds brand new recipes into the game without actually adding any new ingredients. This means that there are now several variants of pies, cakes, and stews. Not only that, but now you can put apples or turtle eggs into a furnace and most of these food items into a composter. My favourite additions are the series of tea, which although only nourish hunger by half a heart, if the name is yellow you'll be granted potion effects like Dolphin's Grace or Regeneration. Have you ever wanted fences made of hay, or stairs made of glass? Well, Diamond Mention makes it so that blocks continuously switch colours until it's placed. This mod doesn't just affect different shade variations, it also adds new designs altogether. For example, the roofs actually look like roofs and lights are now framed. However, I learned not to place down doors because it completely crashes your game. Inventory Pets adds over 111 items, which consist of these cute little creatures which give you different abilities and powers. One of them include the Saddle Pet, which allow you to fly with increased speed and walk on water whilst on an animal like a horse. Another includes the Sheep, which grants slow falling. There's also other items which include weapons, armour, star button, Easter egg, block spawners, and gifts which can contribute to the creation of the inventory pets such as the Sun and Pixie. Dungeon weapons include several items with strong attack damage and a little information about that object. For example, the sickle is from a desert temple, and although many of these are quite strong, some have the downside of giving the slowness effect in exchange for their incredible strength. There's also a small pig with a treasure chest on its back which can drop a variety of tools as well as emeralds. Just Bees adds a whole bunch of structures with ancient fossils which can be mined and displayed using an item with Silk Touch. And in vanilla biomes you can find a whole bunch of colourful beehives which can be harvested for honeycomb. The only downside to this mod is that there aren't actually any new physical bees, just items that resemble the different types of bees. Supplementaries is mainly used for decorative purposes but can also have small uses. For example, the globe can be spun and displays its current coordinates, whilst the soap can be eaten occasionally to gain the nausea effect, and the clock block tells you the actual in-game time when you press on it. These can be perfect for making your houses more realistic or setting up fun traps by using the spikes, and the bonus of this mod is a new merchant with several useful trades. Chocolatecraft adds these giant birds, which can usually be found in the oak biome and have different abilities depending on the colour. For example, the purple and gold can fly, the blue jumps across water, the flame is lava proof, and the pink is really fast. There is also a new vegetable, Gaisal, which randomly grows in certain biomes such as the savannah, jungle, and taiga, which can be used to tame these creatures and also create cake. Man of Many Planes includes 8 brand new items which allow you to fly. Each of these are slightly different due to the materials used to build them. For example, the quadricopter allows you to create builds more easier due to the stability and slowness of the aircraft, while the cargo ship has 80 slots of storage and moves slowly, making it perfect for transporting items. But my favourite of these is the warship, which allows you to carry weapons and fire them from the air. However, many of these planes have a few things in common, like the diasol, which changes the outside colour on certain areas, the needing of a runway to be able to fly, and the fact that they will explode after hitting the ground too hard. There are also items that can be used to improve certain aspects of the plane, such as takeoff speed, durability, engine power, and fuel efficiency, as well as weapons like heavy crossbows, telescopes, and the bomb bay. However, my favourite part of this mod is that you can do backflips in most of these planes. Midnight Madness includes 10 new mobs, with 2 of these being bosses, which can drop several items such as souls, essence, demonic obsidian, along with a dark crown. There's also several items you can get like OP swords with the strongest dealing 28 attack damage. There's several new structures and blocks which contain loot-like pages which allow you to fill in the Necronomicon, which will allow you to summon the Demon King. Easy Mob Farms has a whole bunch of boxes which allow you to gain mod loot quick with just 3 simple ingredients: a glass bottle, a sword, and entities. Now you're probably wondering how to capture a mob. Well, there's a wide variety of tools with only certain items being able to capture certain creatures. For example, the net catches bees, the ender lasso captures skeletons, and the golden lasso captures sheep. Simple Hats adds over 200 unique items, all of which can fit over your armour. These can be obtained by collecting grab bags, either by finding them in chests or on the rare occasion from killing mobs. Some of my favourite for looks include the bread, glasses, bow, and plumber stash, with the best obviously being the sheep costume, as you can now match with Gerald. Tax Ocean Villager adds a variety of boats and ships with different colour schemes, captains, and boat layouts. For example, on this broken boat there are tons of loot with a lone sailor, whilst this one is a caisson filled with skeletons. You can find these scattered across the ocean, but it can be quite difficult to locate in creative as there's no obvious command for it. However, it's worth it for the loot, and as a bonus you can steal the free wool. Giacomo's fishing boat allows you to instantly fish, so you don't need to waste time paying attention to the game when you could be AFKing. And the best part about this is that the automatic function applies after enchanting Luck of the Sea onto your fishing rod. You can collect as many items as you want until either your fishing rod breaks or your inventory fills up, and after about 2 hours this is what I collected. Roost Ultimate adds many chickens with different tiers and styles. These can be fed through different seeds, however it takes a long time for them to grow, but once ready you can collect them using the chicken catcher. Some of these are able to give you different ore nuggets but have absolutely no use in crafting, so these chickens are mostly for aesthetics. Dank storage includes 7 new containers which can hold up to 9 rows of items. However, these are much different to shulkers, as you can infinitely put the containers inside of each other, which is really convenient for saving space while travelling. The cool part about this is that you can change the containers to automatically store any items you pick up by just pressing O. Crystal Craft adds over 9 new ores and minerals which either have a completed gem or ingot form. However, some of these require special items such as the coal crusher or gem cutting station to reach that completed state. With these items, you are now able to create new armour and weapons such as the jade or the platinum set with 10 knockback resistance. However, there is unfortunately no shovel that is stronger than Netherite. Have you ever wanted a mini version of every animal and mob? Well, thanks to more babies, you can now change the age of any creature using the cursed clock. The only mobs this one doesn't affect are bosses and newer creatures like the frog and warden. However, if in regular Minecraft the mob doesn't have a baby form, then they are given the same powers as baby zombies, which means super speed. William Wyler's expanded ecosphere includes almost 200 brand new biomes, however there are no new blocks or items. A few of these are able to change the colour of leaves such as the boreal forest or the surface blocks like the andesite crags. A few of my favourites include the ancient golden beach forest, windswept jungle, pine barrens, phantasmal forest, granite canyon, giant sequoia forest, and the volcano. Horse Expert allows you to see the statistics of any horse you've tamed by using the monocle, and from here you can tell the horse's speed, jump height, and health, which also displays the maximum and minimum amount of upgrades that a horse can get. This makes it quite useful for getting the most OP horse ever. This feature also works with llamas, with the only difference being that you can see its storage. Torchbow adds 2 more items which allow you to put torches onto random blocks you choose. This means you now have the ability to fire torches onto blocks too high to reach, which can be especially helpful for mining or building. This mod also includes a 9 multi-shot torch which can be quite effective for stopping entities spawning during land clearing. YDM Scorpions adds 3 different mobs which can be found in the overworld and nether, and when placed, they automatically sink into most ground blocks and display their stinger, which can be quite terrifying. To see the Scorpions in full view, you must wait until night, where if approached will deal about 4 hearts of damage. But the coolest feature of this mod is that the Scorpions will fight each other if they're different species, for example, the Brown and Emperor. But don't worry about your pets getting hurt because they'll only come after you and each other. Useful hats add 14 new wearable clothing, each with their own looks and abilities. For example, the mining hat grants you night vision whilst holding a pickaxe, and the ender helmet allows a user to teleport back to a safe spot just by shift right clicking, making it very useful for returning home or other places. A few honourable mentions include the wing helmet that grants slow falling, the bunny ears which grant jump boost, and if for some reason you just want to float around forever, then the levitation hat is perfect for that. Goblin is centered around magic and new ores, which allow you to do a variety of new things that would be impossible in the vanilla version. One of these are the rings with 30 abilities, however my favourites include the Explorer, which teleports you to a random location within 6,000 blocks, the Repair, which gradually heals broken items in your inventory, Airwalking, which allows you to float around and stop fall damage but works best from a higher floor, the Pyro, which can cause mobs to randomly explode, and the Farmer, which spawns flowers and grass when shifting. The armour is quite OP, especially the dragon set, with each part containing a special buff. For example, the helmet grants water breathing and saturation, while the chest plate grants fire resistance. But when you obtain the full set, you are granted flight and protection from negative effects. However, the weapons are also amazing with the new addition of the staff, allowing you to capture mobs, harvest crops, and shoot precise arrow shots. Morbow's Restrung includes a few more items which have special powers, such as the Frostbite, which shoots snowballs and gives your opponent freezing effect. However, you still require arrows to use it. A few of my favourites include the Legia with triple arrows, the Ender Bow which summons delayed arrows, the Crystal Bow for its quick zoom in, and the Blazing, which is like regular fire arrows. Lava Walker adds 2 enchantment books which allows the player to walk across lava, so in a way it's very similar to Frost Walker except the blocks are opposite. This makes it quite convenient for nether travel and exploration. However, there are 3 downsides to this mod. If you fall into the lava, it won't turn to obsidian, so you'll die. It will change back into lava fairly quickly, so you can't use this mod to gather obsidian, and this does not work very well for animals. Pizza Craft adds a bunch of items that are either pizza themed or contribute to the creation of pizza. For example, there are 2 uniforms such as chef and delivery driver which provide 2 armor points. There are also tools such as knives which grant a slight speed advantage, so it's perfect for chasing your enemies. There's also a few new ingredients like corn, broccoli, peppers, onion, a solid block of cheese, and olives which can be collected through either seeds or saplings. This means there's also a new wood, olive, which can be used for planks, stairs, and fences. Wildlife Expanded includes a whole bunch of skunks which can become your pet with sweet berries. However, untamed ones can spray you and give you the nausea effect unless it happens to be the nether one, in which case sprays fire. Just like parrots, they can sit on your shoulder but don't fall off as easily and can scare away mobs such as pigs, horses, and sheep, which can be perfect for getting rid of unwanted mobs in your garden. Have you ever wanted the ability to find any block regardless of coordinates or location? Well, now you can thanks to the Entangled mod. This mod adds just 2 items, a block and a wand. When using the wand, you can right click on any block and yellow lines will surround it, and if it's in your render distance, you can see it from anywhere. Not only that, but you can put blocks in a square like prison, therefore making it perfect for a secret base. When you're fighting mobs, it can be really frustrating not knowing how much health they have, thus resulting in retreat or death. That's why Neat is a mod that adds a health bar above an animal's head. This also includes other players as well as yourself, so now you'll know when a friend's lying about their hearts. And although unnecessary, even the Ender Dragon has its own health bar. Hole Filler adds 7 different circles, all of which have a different effect on the land. For example, the smart can fill up to 500 blocks of green grass, whilst the yellow can fill up to many blocks of light and be counted by the blue, so it's perfect for a mining trip or filling in houses. However, the coolest feature is that you can create ponds and streams with water, or even fill it up entirely with lava, so these orbs make it perfect to create your dream landscape. More Villages adds new trays and benches which allow you to gain new items at a somewhat reasonable price, making it perfect to get rid of all your unwanted materials. For example, the miner allows you to trade off blocks like deep slate and copper, and at a master level you can trade for maps to places like Mineshafts or the Ancient City. There are also a few other cool villages, such as the Oceanographer, which allows you to gain a trident, or the Netherologist, which gives you a music disc. But you're probably wondering how to get these workbenches, and all you need to do is follow these recipes. An example includes a blueprint table which requires 4 planks, paper, and blue dye. Just a Raft adds only 1 item, rafts. These can be made from wood such as acacia and jungle, with my favourite being the birch for its wool-like aesthetic. These can be ridden on just like a boat and contain the same capabilities such as steering and speed. The only downside to this mod is that it does not contain the nether woods like crimson or warp stem. However, it does include a bamboo raft. Crossing rivers can be quite inconvenient, especially in times when you're on top of mountains. That's why Young's Bridges adds randomly generated structures in most biomes. These bridges are built using common materials such as stone and wood, depending on what surrounds them. Although this can be quite useful, it doesn't add bridges across oceans or large rivers, which can make transporting animals really annoying. Deathbinder allows you to find all of your stuff after you've died while still keeping the vanilla feeling. For example, say you get blown up by a creeper, the coordinates of your death will be displayed in chat, making it much easier to find the location. However, if you want to teleport there, you can right click and it'll instantly take you there, but there is no guarantee your stuff will be saved if you're too slow or if you fell in lava. When crafting, it's common to forget blocks, which causes them to fall on the floor. That's why Visual Workbench keeps all of the items in the crafting table. With this also comes the benefit that you can see what is in the crafting table without having to look inside. This means it can be very useful if you need to get more blocks without having to recreate that item. For example, changing logs into planks or smelting iron for a pickaxe, your design is still there. Hang Glider adds an item similar to Elytras in two separate colours. These can't be worn but are instead handheld and can be activated by right-clicking. One of the most noticeable differences is that when gliding you can only go at one particular speed, but can look around in any direction without plummeting to the ground. When worn, they appear as a triangle, and are great fun to fly around using third-person view. However, the only downside is that you can't use fireworks. Among the general Minecraft community, there has been one thing that players have always wanted included in the game, and that's more dog accessories. Apart from the several beds of all different colours, included in this mod are collars, clothes, treats, and food bowls. There are also many features I love about this mod, but one of them being the throwable sticks, which when brought back to you by your dog is covered in drool. Another is the whistle, which gives all of your dogs a command such as stand, but my favourite has got to be the big bone, which increases the size of your dog. Immersive Caves changes several of the appearances without adding new items. For example, the radioactive produces a green liquid with a poison effect, which lasts even when you're just in the atmosphere, or the depth caves, which can make endstone and shulkers appear in the overworld. Some of the more dangerous include the TNT caves, Illager mines, molten caves, and the spider den, but my favourite is definitely the amethyst, as it's just so beautiful. Airhope adds 3 enchantment books, which can be applied to leggings in order to allow the user to jump multiple times, and depending on which book you use, you can jump up to 3 times more. Assuming you're using the highest enchantment book, you can jump over 21 blocks wide, but if you want to get even more crazy and add speed, you can jump a whole 22 blocks, which can be quite helpful for avoiding rivers and holes. Flowers haven't had an update since 2013, and even though there's millions of different species that could be added, it just hasn't happened. That's why Ohana adds 19 new flowers. These include snapdragons, African daisies, marigolds, and the spider lily, but my favourite has got to be the Chinese milkvetch and the gloriosa for their unique designs and colours. However, if we're basing them on names, then it would definitely be the forget-me-not flower. Additional banners includes 24 different pattern designs, with most of these being obtainable through in-game materials. Some of these include kelp, trident, mushroom, and the grass block, which once turned into banners look really cool. Unfortunately, not all of these can be crafted, as some are exclusive to One Ring traders, but at least they now serve a purpose. However, if I had to choose a favourite, it would most definitely be the dragon. Mob Lassos adds 6 new ropes which allow you to capture different types of entities by using ore such as diamonds. For example, the hostel made from redstone holds monsters and the gold holds animals. Included in this mod is actually a 7th item, the contract. This is an object given to a villager in hopes that they will allow you to capture them. However, it is quite a small chance that they will accept your proposal, so the best way is to form a good relationship with them by doing a lot of trades. Trajectory Preview allows you to see where your arrow will hit whilst using an item like the bow. This is shown by a light bloom beam, which makes it much more useful if you're new to the game or for hunting down your friends and killing animals. You can also use other projectiles such as ender pearls and snowballs, but be careful not to use a crossbow as it will crash your entire game and you'll never be able to join your world again. Statues adds over hundreds of items which mimic different animals and objects. These range from hostile to neutral, with some of my favourite being the bee, ravenger, mushroom, and pink sheep. Not all of these are just decorative items, as some have actual uses. For example, the campfire creates light, the golden marshmallow grants you invisibility, and the player spawn egg can transform into you. Doggy Talents next includes even more clothing and treats which can change the dog's behaviour and appearance. For example, you're able to train them to do tricks such as poison opponents and heal you at low health, plus they can now swim. There are over 100 different dog beds to choose from, along with multiple different collars, but my favourite is the Conan suit, as it's just so cute. The End of Herobrine adds a few more evil entities which already haunt you when you create a new world. However, if you want to fight, you'll still need to gather resources to summon and defeat the boss. Some of the cool features is that there are now a few more creepy paintings and a new enchantment you can put on your sword, Notch's Blessing, which deal extra damage to all creatures and stop the wrath from summoning after Herobrine's death. When it comes to villages, there's only really one type. Sure, there may be different colour variations, but they still look similar. That's why Towns and Towers adds over 30 new structures. These can be found in many biomes, all with their own unique loot. For example, this one near the ocean contains kelp. But be mindful, because not all of these are villages, there's brand new pillager outposts too. If you're a builder and wish there were more blocks to utilise, then Chisel is the perfect mod as it adds over thousands of new blocks into your game. Not only does it add blocks, but it adds tools which allow you to make certain structures much faster, like cloud in a bottle, or this rock which allows cobblestone to turn into gravel, then into sand. But my favourite series of objects has got to be the pumpkin for its silly faces. Philip's Ruins takes ordinary structures and demolishes them to create almost completely different looking buildings. For example, the Ocean Monument becomes maze-like and includes treasure chests, whilst the Ancient City is renamed Skulk Dungeon and contains new blocks such as Skulk Bone and Skulk Bricks, which allow you to create your own new build designs. But by far the coolest addition is the Endgate Fortress, which contains massive amounts of loot and rooms to be explored. However, if you wish to be severely disappointed, then the End Ruin is perfect for that. If you're bad at Minecraft and wish there was a way that you could slightly improve your game with a few magic items, you can thanks to the Reliquary mod. This adds several items which are useful in many circumstances. For example, when gunpowder is added to the catalyst, you can break up to 9 of any blocks except for a few like ores, and this fishing rod allows you to pick up any loose items on the ground. But if death is your concern, then there's 3 different objects that can save you. However, if it's clothing that you're after, then this witch hat might be the perfect look for you. Flower Pot Extension adds 33 new items made from various types of clays and terracottas. These act just like regular pots, however the only difference is that they are able to hold torches, candles, bamboo, and mangrove popagule. With such a large colour variety, they can be perfect for different creations like gardens or sheds, but I like to use them for house decorations. Inventory Totem removes the inconvenience of needing to hold the totem in order for it to work. This means you can have it anywhere in your inventory and it will still save you. This is best for boss fights as now you'll still be able to hold your shield and sword at the same time without having to worry about dying. Party Parrots changes ordinary birds so that they will always be dancing. So even when they're flying, standing, sitting, or drowning, they will continue to groove. Now in case you're wondering, when tame parrots go on your shoulder they still continue dancing, but it does not affect the player. However, if you stare at them for too long it can easily make you feel dizzy. The Origins mod allows you to gain the abilities of several creatures such as the cat, enderman, and spider. You can select these either as soon as you start a new world or by using an Orb of Origin which can only be obtained in creative. There are different levels that determine how game altering the Origin is based on 3 dots, 1 for the least and 3 for the most. One of my favourites is the Avion as you no longer take 4 damage, walk slightly faster and can double jump. However, the only downside is that you can't eat meat and if you want to sleep you must do so 86 blocks above ground. And unfortunately there's no sheep origin. Customizable elytras allow you to dye them any colour you like multiple times. Not only that, but with glowing ink they can be seen well in the dark. Another cool feature is that you can add banners onto these as well. This means that the pattern is shown on each wing and using the banner thing, it kinda looks like a heart. Tough as Nails makes survival Minecraft slightly more difficult as it adds hydration and a temperature gauge. So in a way it's similar to hunger because if the bar runs out you start to lose health. But to combat this are a few new items such as different fruit juices and water canteens. However, if you don't cleanse your water using the water purifier, you will be given the thirst effect which will last for about 30 seconds. There are also 2 new sets of armour, the leaf made for cooling and the wool made for heating. Now the cool part about the wool armour is that they can be dyed to any colour. Upcycle allows you to put even more useless items into a composter which usually comes from various mobs, such as rotten flesh, spider eyes, poisonous potatoes, rabbit's feet, and depending on the item it'll determine how much the composter will fill up. The only unfortunate part is that the only item you'll receive is bone meal and nothing else when it becomes full. Fireproof boats allows nether woods to become burnproof. This means a normal and chest boat can safely travel across any lava source even if it's just a single block, making exploring the nether much easier. Now you could argue that striders do the job just fine, but you still need a saddle and a warped fungus on a stick which can be quite difficult to obtain at times. Now if you're thinking that woods such as birch or acacia will survive, they will instantly burn as this mod does not apply to any overworld woods. So those giant underground lava pools will still be uncrossable without water. Sweaters adds a Christmas-themed jumper to some of the most common Minecraft mobs such as slimes, creepers, chickens, zombies, and skeletons. However, it doesn't apply to rarer mobs like guardians or ocelots, but this does work on yourself. These sweaters will automatically be applied when entering a world, but the saddest feature of this mod is that Gerald doesn't get one. With the popularity of Minecraft skyrocketing over the past few years, there are bound to be several new players who are bad at the game and just need a little extra help. That's why this mod adds a starter kit that is automatically applied upon joining a new world. Although it isn't much, included in this kit is bread, a sword, a shield, and leather boots, so hopefully this should allow someone to survive for the slightest bit longer, unless you're Gerald. Too Many Bows adds 26 different items with every weapon containing a special ability. These can be crafted using special shards and regular items in the game from loots dropped by mobs. Plus, they can also be fixed with a repair shard. Some of my favourite bows include Astral Bound, which makes arrows ricochet until they can't any longer. Sorrow Heart, that summons ice on impact. Dragon's Breath, which shoots invisible arrows but leaves a purple puddle around the target. Tidal Bow, that works as effectively underwater as it would on land. Dark Bow, which summons a shockwave similar to the Warden. And the Ironclad that drags targets no matter the strength towards you. Cursory adds more than 20 new enchanted books, all of which have some kind of new spell. For example, the Curse of Undead allows you to be burned in sunlight for no reason, or by adding explosion to your sword, there's a chance that you and your enemy will detonate. If you have the Electrified Curse on any tool that's being used, then you can get struck by lightning even when underground. But the best book is definitely the Hammering Curse, as it can make an anvil fall on your head. Realistic Bees slightly alters a few different features. For example, hives can now hold up to 20 bees rather than just 3, and the rate the bees spawn in are much higher. But my favourite part about this is that bees are so much more tiny. This means that baby bees are so small you can barely even see them. Getting the bucket allows you to collect almost any mob by just using a bucket. These include pigs, bees, cats, as well as hostile mobs like slimes, zombies, and phantoms. Even bosses and those annoying trader llamas can be added. This mod can be extremely useful for transporting different pets from far places like the snow or raiding entire villages. But the best part about this mod is the fact that I can put Gerald in a bucket. Silence Gems adds 48 new ores which can be found in all 3 or just 1 dimension. For example, Topaz is found in the Nether whilst Moldavite is located at the end. These materials can be used to craft items such as Summon Poppy and Summon Kitty, which as simple as it sounds creates an instant pet. Apart from the items, the gem blocks are quite pretty and can be used for building as it includes bricks, lamps, and glass. This mod can also be paired with tools and armor to craft all sorts of new recipes such as weapons, but that's a mod for another day. Magic Vibe Decorations is entirely for making your buildings more Halloween themed as it includes pumpkins, crystals, bookshelves, and wall mushrooms, with many of these being able to glow. My favourite item is a plush cat which is the exact same size as Kin's, however only comes in 1 colour. We all know that Minecraft is lacking in magical materials. That's why this mod adds over 80 new items. These include bows, scrolls, swords, and cake, making it perfect for a PvP battle. One of the coolest items is definitely the Mana Staff, as it can create an explosion large enough to destroy an entire village. Along with that is a weapon called the Ripper, which when holding it makes the user faster and creates clouds of smoke, making it easier to psych out your opponents. MC Paint allows a person to draw on any block by using a brush. Just right click and a few different numbers will appear. The smaller the number, the smaller the part of the block you're painting, and once chosen, a screen with many options will be shown. Here you can choose the brushes and colours, but if you want your own custom colour, then you can adjust it by using the RGB levers. If you want to copy a pattern, you can do so with a stamp. This means it's perfect for creating quick green screens, traps, or even amazing paintings like this. Just mob heads allow you to get the head of almost every single entity in the game. These include neutral and hostile, but unfortunately you can't get your own. These can be obtained by killing a mob and there'll be a chance for that head to drop. However, it won't happen every time, but the chance can be increased by enchanting your weapons with looting. Dimensional expansion includes 3 new biomes with many new items like the violet carrots which can be found at the new villages, and although there are a lot of caves, you'll only be able to rarely find 3 different ores. This dimension can be entered through a portal similar to the Nethers, but you must use an origin frame and origin key. And one of the unique features of this mod is that it changes the game icon and home screen, which doesn't do much except for looking cool. Resource chickens allow you to gain multiple different items through animals. These range from cactus to purple dye, lasers, and diamonds, which can be harvested by killing them. The cool part is that different kinds of chickens are able to breed together with seeds. For example, ice and pink dye, or XP and obsidian. However, whichever parent's genes are stronger determines what kind of chicken it becomes. There are many things that could be added to the game that would make it slightly better, like bigger trees or more real-life mobs. But overall, appliances are one of the biggest demands, and thanks to Mr. Crayfish's furniture mod, this is entirely possible. This mod adds over 400 different blocks coming in many colours and styles of wood. This includes bookshelves, double drawers, chairs, desks, and glass tables. My favourite of these being the modern chair for its silly look and realistic sitting feature. But if you'd prefer something with storage, then the wardrobe is the perfect fit. An interesting thing about these is when placed, they can join together to create the look of one wardrobe while still containing the storage of 2. However, if you wish, you can continue to stack them all the way up to the build limit. Pour through slime changes the block, so when you stand on it for too long, you'll either be flung off or buried depending on where it's placed. For example, if it's above the ground, you'll be put on the side. This can be used as a hilarious prank on your friends, as when they start falling there is no way to stop it, and slowly they'll suffocate, allowing you to steal their belongings. Have you ever wanted the ability to shrink or increase the size of any entity for reasons such as pranks and trolls? Well, now you can using a simple item, the shrinking device. With this object, you can shrink an entity to 1/10 of a block or increase it to thousands of blocks wide. So if you secretly install this mod, you could use it to scare your friends with giant fish or a humongous warden. However, if you just wish you could alter an animal's size, then this is the perfect mod for you. Useful backpacks allow you to gain a portable inventory of up to 3 times the size, making it extremely useful for exploration and mining. These come in every colour, with my favourite being the pink as it matches Gerald. Like an ender chest, the ender backpack allows you to place an item in here and then collect it again even if you die. There are 3 sizes, small, medium and large, all of which can be upgraded by crafting this recipe. That way you can store a ginormous amount of items. More buckets allow you to craft different buckets made from ore such as gold, which grants the ability to hold more liquid. For example, the diamond being the biggest allows you to store up to 10 different liquid blocks, whilst the smallest can only hold 1. But it's not just a classic iron bucket, as it also includes aluminium, tin, rubber and copper. The most useful purpose this mod has is being able to collect lava for obsidian from the nether when you are unable to find a lava pool in the overworld, or by using the silver bucket you'll always have enough water to create an infinite water generator no matter where you go. This is a mod that combines the features of several other furniture mods to create one ultimate mod pack. For example, it includes cushions, benches, fancy beds, cups, pots and trophies, making this perfect for intricate details. One of the most unique items is certainly the books, as 4 of them can be stacked to create a whole block. These also come in many colours and styles, but you cannot tell which book you'll get until they are already placed. This is a mod that allows you to break a singular slab even when stacked on top of another block. This means you don't need to go through the hassle of replacing each individual slab like normal Minecraft. This mod can be extremely helpful in your builds, as it only requires normal tools like axes to work. The only unfortunate part about this mod is the fact that you still cannot mix different kinds of slabs together. The Hunter is a new variant of Illager which lives in a little hut in forest regions such as the birch. It's much like in the Witch in the sense that it lives alone, and if he spots your animals he will attack them with a bow and arrow. With this mod also comes a new weapon, the Boomerang. Although it doesn't deal an enormous amount of damage, it's able to bounce off objects several times before becoming inactive. But be careful not to lose track of it because it won't return to your inventory. Ultimate Car adds 168 new items which can create over 54,000 car variants. But in order to actually craft a vehicle, you will first need to place a car workshop block surrounded by 8 workshop parts. Then when right clicked, a menu will appear where you will need to add all of your car ingredients, such as a body, engine, tank, bumper, license plate and wheels. However, you can't just drive forever because just like real cars, they need to be refueled using the gas station. But these cars are a perfect way to travel faster with your friends. The unfortunate part about this mod is that it can't go over blocks without using the special ones included, which means it isn't good for exploration. But the most surprising part about this is that it actually adds a new seed, canola, as it crafts liquids needed for the car to function normally like methanol and diesel. If you've ever sat and thought, gee, I sure am lucky, I wish there was a way I could gamble in Minecraft, well, do I have the solution for you, the Chance Cubes mod. There are a few variations of this block such as the regular, giant, and rainbow, which all produce something different. For example, if you're lucky, you could win your very own Skyblock Island or giant glass dome, but don't be fooled. On the opposite side is certain death by lava, explosions, mobs, and more. But don't worry, if you feel the need, you can always increase your luck by 50 with this green pendant. When glass is placed, every block is defined and can ruin the atmosphere of your build. That's why connected glass makes every piece look like it's just one window. This mod also adds the old texture glass along with panes and a new tinted window with a coloured highlight around the outside. These come in every colour and help to make your houses and builds look even better. Have you ever wished that Minecraft had magic items that gave you unique abilities, such as umbrellas with slow falling or a scarf with invisibility? Well, thanks to the artifacts mod, this is a real possibility. This mod adds several items that is totally not like anything from any other game. My favourite of these actually being a creature, the Mimic. This mod gives you the illusion that it's just a regular chest, but as soon as you approach it, it tries to eat you for dinner. However, my favourite item has got to be the superstitious hat for its stylish 3D look. Geode Plus is a mod which adds new ores and buds which can be found in geodes in all 3 dimensions, but it's not just traditional ores like gold, you can find glowstone and prismarine too. These geodes spawn at any Y level no matter the ore, but it's very rare for them to connect to caves. Apart from looks, these shards don't have any functional purpose if it's a new ore like Celestine. However, if it's something like Netherite, then you've hit the jackpot because you'll be given anywhere between 1 and 3 scrap pieces. I Want to Skate is a mod that adds many different coloured skateboards, all of which can be ridden by crafting 2 trunks, 2 wheels, and a skateboard deck. But the best part is that you can make these special wheels that when moving release fire or honey, for example. Along with this mod comes a few new items, such as pizza, energy drinks, caps, books, and 2 more mobs. Although these are mostly for aesthetic purposes, the enchanted books can alter your skateboard by making them faster or giving them the ability to travel across water. However, this mod does have similar properties to real life, as it will travel much slower when on a rough surface like sand or gravel. Weaker spiderwebs remove the inconvenience of needing swords of water to destroy it, as now after just a second of touching it the web will break, so it can be even better for MLGs. However, entities are unable to break these no matter what kind it is, so it's still useful for keeping them contained. Blood and Madness adds many items that range from mobs, blocks, ores, and weapons, all of which contain their own unique abilities and powers. For example, the Silver Beast has a giant torch, whilst the Blood Vial instantly regenerates 5 hearts. And best of all, the Flame Sprayer releases fire. When bosses are killed, they can drop many items such as axes and swords, with the coolest drop being a Core Beyond. This weapon locks onto any enemy and deals a very large amount of damage. Awesome Dungeon Ocean Edition is a mod that adds new structures that only spawn in water and ocean environments. These vary from small to large and include boats, temples, and cages, all of which contain vast amounts of loots and many pillager spawners. My favourite is the large frigate for its giant sails and excessive supply of food. There are also a few stories to be explored which contain the sleeping chamber, TNT deck, dining hall, and prison cells. Vending machines adds this mystical item that can be found at random locations in your world, usually at villages. And much like a wandering trader or a villager, you are able to buy items inside using emeralds. However, some are just really bad. But the good news is that sometimes you are able to find legendary items like your own head, spawn eggs, music discs, skeleton skulls, raw iron blocks, and chainmail. However, one of the great features of the vending machine is that they restock to other items every morning, so things that may be useless today could become one of the best things ever tomorrow. Plus, these can be really helpful if you're ever making your own map, because you can customize these vending machines to contain whatever you want with a few simple commands. Unfortunately though, if you were ever planning on taking these home with you, it's simply impossible even with the Netherite pickaxe enchanted with Silk Touch. When you put lapis in an enchantment table, it can be quite easy to forget to put it back in your inventory, so after you exit it will fall on the floor and get dirty. But with the lapis reserve mod, the ore will stay in the enchantment table. Although this mod may be small, it's quite convenient because you don't need to worry about cluttering your room with unwanted materials or making a storage space for your lapis. Now, you can just let it be. Have you ever wanted a mod that confuses your enemies with a simple floor mat? Well, Dark Utilities is a mod that adds weird potion effects to anyone who steps on that tile. There's also a block called Filter, which only allows a particular entity to pass through it. For example, this one only lets villagers through, whilst this allows players, so it can be very useful for making bases or traps. Statistically speaking, there's probably a few people among my viewers who are fatherless. That's why now you can get a dad joke every time you join your Minecraft world. For example, what do you call a nervous javelin thrower? Shakespeare. There are hundreds of jokes just like this that even managed to amuse Gerald. Fizzle adds 22 new items which are used to create new and stronger powers for the wands. These can be applied by using charms and enchanted books, with my favourites being the Pearl, Fire, and Levitation. However, there are a few which can be difficult to use as they don't work every time, like the lightning. The reason for this is because these ones severely rely on your XP, and the more powerful they are, the more experience taken from you. Always a Wither Skull slightly alters where the skeleton drops, as now you'll always receive its head upon killing them. This means it'll be much easier to summon the Wither and get beacons without needing to spend hours grinding. Now if you're wondering if this can become even more OP, it can't, as looting won't change the amount of heads dropped. Mining can often be quite boring as it's repetitive and most people would rather build or fight their friends. But now there's a way to make it not such a dreadful task with the Lucky Ores mod. This adds just 2 blocks which can be found randomly throughout your world, the Strange Glowing Ore and the Eerie Glowing Ore. When mined with any pickaxe, iron and above, there's a chance of either getting something amazing like enchantment books or something awful like traps and lava. So you may want to be careful or else you'll end up looking like this. Villager names make it so that all villagers have a predetermined name as soon as they are generated or spawned into your Minecraft world. And just like a name tag, the words are only displayed when hovering over the villager with your mouse. But if you are unsatisfied with the villager's given name, then you still have the option to change it with a name tag. And just in case you're wondering, if a villager gets turned into a zombie, their name is still kept unless the villager zombie was never human to begin with. Easy Villagers allows a player to put any villager in their inventory just by shift right clicking. This can be really convenient, as instead of putting in effort transporting them using boats or rails, you can just steal them. Along with this also comes villager prisons, which stops them from escaping while still being able to make trades. You just add your villager and desired block like a lectern and you have yourself a trading hall. But why keep them in here instead of out in the open? Well, the main reason is this button, as it changes the trades as many times as you like. Blasting raw metals into blocks is a small addition which allows you to put items such as raw gold blocks into a blast furnace, allowing you to save time in your burnable items such as coal or wood. The only downside to this is that it won't work for any other furnaces, so you will have to go out of your way to craft a blast furnace. This is a mod that can be difficult to learn at first because of the several cursed items that range from mobs, to books, to ores, to fire, making it a really creepy addition in your game. The most varied items are the ritual and variations, as they all contain a unique ability that can be helpful in a variety of circumstances. For example, this one makes sure a possessed enderman always drops a pearl, but this one allows mining spirits to deliver you items from another dimension. Another honourable item is a demon fruit, which can be grown using demon's dream seeds. This allows a user to temporarily gain the ability of a third eye, adding a strange filter which allows you to see blocks from other dimensions. Dimensional Dungeons adds one new place which can be entered by making this structure, and when spawned in, there will be a mountain of hallways containing hundreds of different rooms. Each one holds their own unique loot and traps which can be quite easy to fall for, as some are well hidden. Some of the best rooms include the spawner, which summons wither skeletons, making it great for gaining nether stars. Another is the ender egg, which connects to 8 separate rooms, but my favourite are the ones which provide challenges such as parkour, trap evasion and secret rooms. This is a mod that adds over 70 new creatures to the game, including real aquatic life to magical beasts. A few of my favourites include the cave centipede, Komodo dragon, blobfish, mungus, horseshoe, and the cockroach. Not you, Gerald. Along with these mobs are new items and crafting recipes, like the mysterious worm, bananas, and even rainbow glass. But my favourite addition in this whole mod is definitely the novelty hat. This item can rarely be obtained by killing a skellywag, as it has a very small drop rate. But overall, this is definitely one of my favourite mods so far. The Nether Depth upgrade is a very subtle mod that can go unnoticed even when standing next to the lava lakes. And the reason for this is because this is a mod focused on fishing. Just like regular fishing, there is a variety of different aquatic life that you can catch. The only difference is that you're doing it in the Nether. To be able to catch fish, you must be standing near lava and wait for the smoky particles to appear, and after you right click, a fish will come flying out of the lava. So I recommend standing in an area where there is plenty of space for the fish to land. And before you ask, yes, this does work in the overworld, but you will only receive regular fish. Currently, Minecraft only has a few structures such as the end city, fortress, temple, and village. And if you've ever wished Minecraft had more impressive builds to explore, then Dungeon Crawl is the mod for you. From the outside, all that can be seen is this tall stone structure with a staircase underground. However, there is more than meets the eye. This structure offers a ton of different hallways that go on for what feels like an eternity. Almost every room has some sort of loot, such as new potions along with overpowered spawners, and the further you go, the more you'll find. For example, this structure contains a nether themed floor featuring some of its key blocks like netherrack and soul sand. Not only does it have really cool rooms, but it also has a kind of silly one featuring a bed, crafting table, and furnace. Evilcraft is a mod that adds several different terrifying things to your game, including new blocks and creatures, potions and items, and even new weapons. A highlight of this mod is the Necromancer staff. This item allows you to shoot skulls from your staff, and when met with another entity, zombies immediately spawn to hurt and kill that object. But my personal favourite is the biome extract bottles, as throwing just one of them changes your whole entire scenery into a brand new biome. Gerald, are you feeling okay? Trash cans is a mod that adds 4 different types of garbage bins. These include the energy trash can, item trash can, fluid trash can, and even the ultimate trash can. Each one of these have a different purpose and crafting recipe. For example, the item trash can can be crafted using stone, cobblestone, and a chest, making it particularly useful as it eliminates every single item that is placed inside, including all of your food scraps. As for the ultimate trash can, it is made using all of the previous bins to combine the abilities into a 3-in-1 trash can. But as powerful as it might be, entities cannot go in the trash can. This mod adds many types of unique doors, such as classic doors, jail doors, and even sliding glass doors. Although there are only a few designs, they come in all different colours, which can make it a perfect addition to your next build. But the coolest thing in this mod is the garage doors. These can be placed by stacking them on top of each other, where you can make it as high as you want, and to close the door you can click any of the blocks. But unfortunately, when closed, you cannot stand on the top of the door. Sometimes, when you're in the desert, everything just seems a bit plain. From the cactus to the temple, the biome just needs a little extra, and to help with that is the tumbleweed mod. Tumbleweeds have a chance of being found near dead bushes and bounce around according to the wind's direction. Not only do they look cool, but now you have the opportunity to reenact those classic movie fight scenes with your friends. Aquaculture is a water-related mod that adds several different items to your game, such as fishing rods, armor, and even trophy stands. And just like regular fishing, you have the possibility of catching almost anything. This also includes a treasure chest and a box. When either of these are opened, you have the possibility of getting something great like diamonds or something bad like granite. But two of my favourite additions to this game is the unbreakable knife and the very strong bow, which allows the user to shoot arrows straight through the water without the water taking any effect on their aim. So Gerald, how do you feel about fish for dinner? Mystical agriculture is a mod with more than just farming, as it includes weapons, armor, blocks, seeds, souls, and even essence. My favourite part about this mod is that you can grow your very own diamonds, meaning you can have the classic 2012 styled house. However, if you are expecting there to be any actual crops, then you are very mistaken, as this mod includes many combat oddities, such as swords, sickles, axes, and even a watering can, along with a few sets of armor. Sorry to disappoint you, Gerald. Security Craft is a mod made to defend your base. However, I like to use it to prank other players. Some of the best items for this are the fake lava and water, explosive diamond ore, projector, and reinforced obsidian. But if you're looking for actual security, I highly recommend the password protected chest, electrified fence, security cameras, and monitors. However, I don't recommend using the taser as it hardly deals opponents any damage. Pipes is the mod made with the ability to transfer one thing to another. For example, using the item pipe allows you to transfer materials from one chest to another. This can be done by placing down two chests any distance away from each other and then connecting them with pipes. And it's not just items that can be transferred, liquids can too. However, entities cannot. One of the downsides to this mod is that it can be difficult to use as redstone is a key component, so I don't recommend it for those who aren't skilled in redstone. Advanced Chimneys is a mod made to spice up your fireplace, as it adds stone chimneys, glass chimneys, metal chimneys, and a variety of air vents. My favourite part about this mod is when you add a campfire to the bottom. Smoke comes out the top of it perfectly, regardless of how tall your chimney is. Another cool feature is that you can climb up and down the chimney, making a great secret entrance into your base. Pixelmon is a mod made to add the experience of Pokemon into Minecraft. For example, you are able to catch Pokemon using Pokeballs and train them up to a high level. You can find these Pokemon scattered all around your world in all 3 dimensions, but you cannot physically hurt them by hitting them, even in creative. And before you ask, non-Pokemon entities cannot be caught. This is a mod that adds several different coloured pots to your game, such as terracotta pots and clay pots. The purpose of this mod is to be able to grow crops more efficiently in a small area without needing to go through the hassle of building a farm, making it perfect for indoor spaces. Sometimes killing mobs from a distance is just too difficult, and even with the power of bows, it's just not good enough. So that's where Mr. Crayfish's guns comes in handy. This is a mod that adds several guns into your game, including all types of bullets and grenades. But if your gun isn't strong enough, then you can use the enchantment books to make it more quick and powerful. However, the best part about this mod is that it's perfect for defeating your enemies. Dark Paintings is a mod that adds beautiful artworks to your game that come in many sizes, such as 1 block, 2 blocks, 4 blocks, and 8 blocks, meaning you can put them almost anywhere. The only downside to this mod is that the paintings are just like regular Minecraft, meaning you cannot choose which paintings you want. This card was created to protect your villages from various enemies, such as zombies and skeletons. Along with that comes the advantage of not needing to worry about your pets, because if you put them inside of a villager's house, they will most likely be protected by the guards. This is a mod that adds several different types of windows to your game. This includes square windows, panel windows, gothic windows, shutters, and blinds. But one of my favorite additions are the curtains, as they come in every color and can be completely loose or tied up, making a great addition to your room. Another honourable mention is the mosaic glass blocks and panes, as they have many different pattern choices and complement the other modded windows really well. This is a mod that adds a singular item to your game, and that's the Adelie penguin. These penguins are a specific breed only found in Australia. However, in-game, they don't serve any functional purpose, except to give you judgmental looks whilst being adorable. The Core's Roofs is a mod made to improve your ugly houses by adding several outdoor designs such as gutters, thatch roofs, and glass roofs. The cool part about this mod is that the roofs come in almost every block in colour, making this perfect for all your weird and wonderful creations. My favourite block in this mod has got to be the striped awnings, as I just really like the colours, plus it's great for keeping your sheep from wandering off. Goblin Traders is a mod that adds two different spawn eggs. These are the Goblin Trader and the Vein Goblin Trader. The difference between these two is that one is made for the overworld, whilst the other is designed for the nether. These goblins can be found underground and are very similar to Wandering Traders, as they offer a range of items. However, the major difference is that they offer a decent price. Some even offer a rare trade, where if you give a book with an item, it'll upgrade it even further, like this Efficiency 6 axe for example. Framed Blocks is a mod that helps you with construction, as it includes frames to many things, such as railways, item frames, square blocks, and stairs, making this the perfect addition to your game. This mod also adds newly shaped blocks with really long names that can be rotated in any direction, meaning it can fit in even the smallest of spaces. Platforms is a mod made to help you with transportation designs, as it includes things such as ramps, floors, handrails, and platforms. These can be used by placing them anywhere you like, and using the monkey wrench, you have the ability to rotate the blocks to fit your desired build. My favourite thing to construct using this mod is roller coasters, as the handrails really help to create the look and feel of a real-life theme park. The construction mod adds just a few key items. These include wands and wand cores. These allow the user to be able to move blocks on the same level with just a singular wand. This mod can be extremely helpful to those who often build, or to those who want to create large-scale buildings without having to put in hours of work. However, the only downside to this is that if you have entities on top of the blocks you're replicating, it creates a hole so that the entity doesn't die. This mod includes several different items, such as tables, chairs, fences, and even mailboxes. However, one of my favourites is this wheat doormat. This doormat allows for you to set your own personal message, and it will appear right on that mat. This fridge also has a really cool picture on it. However, my favourite item has got to be the rainbow couch. Look, Gerald, it even matches with you. Ecologics is a mod that adds a variety of different items to your game. These include spawn eggs, blocks, boats, signs, and food, making it a perfect mod to spice up your world. My favourite addition is the range of azalea flowers that can be created into different blocks, such as this heart-shaped door. However, if I had to choose a mob, it would most definitely be the penguin, as apart from them being really cute, you also get regeneration from being around them. Better Crates is a very similar mod to the Iron Chest mod, as it adds different crates with different capacities. These include wooden, iron, copper, tin, gold, diamond, and obsidian. One key difference between these two mods is that when the crates are broken, you keep all the items inside. However, the iron chests are like regular chests. Therefore, if a creeper happened to explode near them, you would lose all of your items. There's nothing quite like finding a jungle biome after hours of searching and taking some bamboo home for a souvenir, but sometimes we wish there was more that we could do with it. Well, this is where bamboo everything comes in handy. This is a mod that adds a mediocre amount of items, such as doors, fences, stairs, slabs, and torches. These also come with a dry bamboo variant for those who wish it was a different colour. And another perk is that all of these blocks are burn proof.